remaining.
Is just to work until the game itself is played out. It's like you're watching a canvas and they're setting up all the tools, they're putting their colors on their palette, but until the game actually plays, you don't know where they're putting the colors.
A really interesting thing though, for me, the one thing that I can read from OG so far, in every
10
series
seconds
other than High Coast
remaining.
Esports, no matter if they're second or
Dire
fourth pick, they
team
banned
pick.
out the Batrider. They really hate this hero clearly. They don't want to play it as well, especially if they have first pick option. So
OG's
they think that's probably the most broken hero in the patch from OG's perspective.
And yeah, Viking, by banning the morph, I think give away the first pick shaker intent, which I think OG will be just fine with. But
Dire team
you don't want to give a morphling a shaker game, even if it's not on his team ever.
Ever since OG beat High Coast Esports in the second game of that series,
It's
it's always been bad. Every team's banned out Morphling because, of course, you've got Morph Shaker, you've got Morph Willow, and you have Morph Earth.
And this opener
people enabling me. That's why I Slark.
Arguably the two hardest counters to Slark remain in the pool. I think Jug is more likely, just because I think the way mid one builds.
Top tier games because teams exploit for weaknesses.
Label play.
I'm always glad to see more cats from Dota 2, especially with Sakezu's cat there earlier on. But yeah, the pressure is definitely, especially too, when you consider that there is a Dragon Knight in this game. You heard our panel talk a little bit about the moves that are going to be necessary, right, with pops that first Dragon form.
Yep, that's always a very crucial point. Like they said, Dragon Knight paper counters Puck. Puck wants to leave the lane and go get ganks. Dragon Knight pressures your tower when you tower. It's very easy for your opponents to pressure your side of the map. So you don't want to give it away very easily. But lately what teams do is when Dragon Knight gets his 6 and he uses his ultimate, they rotate supports over, they just kill him. And then they do that.
here onto KZ. A little too careful. They've got Spirit, Siphon, Crypt coming out. They do enough damage. It looks like they're going to try to man-fight it out. KZ goes down mid-1. Getting the cut with 6-something hit points. Missing the run away. Not quite enough damage here on Sox. Had to go and get that kill, but we'll force him back.
Little too overeager there on the side. Somebody could get mid one, but with the Fairy Fire and the Quick Magic Wand, that build this very easy fight to the death. Luna is a very good fight to the death type hero. Here it is again. Urchin, you're pressuring correctly. Kezu walks in to get some imaging. Fairy Fire, that stick, and all of a sudden, a lot of heal from just the right click you get from your aura, plus the 150 damage nuke every 6 seconds is a lot more Fairy's output. He's got decent armor. Plus the Wraith Fire, or the Wraith Band, he's good. Pressure top, take a lot of damage here.
I feel like that's one of the big weaknesses with the Death Prop. The offlane is that they're so susceptible if you have that lockdown. She just doesn't have a great way to escape. She's not super tanky.
Yeah, she is fast, and her strength gain is, her raw strength is pretty high, but you have to definitely be careful. I think the other issue is that you just don't have any control over whether or not they run away from you. Spirit Siphon doesn't anymore, so other than fast, you can't just like run people down over these long distances. You have to be pretty careful when you things like that.
Interesting to note that we do have the 2-minute runes that came up. And still not a whole lot of action. Some pressure being placed on Dota2 down there. A little bit of fighting over on the room spot, but they've already snapped it up. They're juking around the corner here. Okay, we'll throw out a couple of hits.
OG doing a really good job just pressuring whenever they can, because they are going to win in these scenarios, especially level 2 nursing. Both of these guys have 15 bonus damage, so every time they go in these two, they just take a lot of damage. So I would say that this lane setup for Viking, this is one of the issues. Like, yes, Earthshaker can fidget them when they go on, but they're taking a lot of damage between the lift and the Lucent Beam and like 4 or 5 right clicks from Kiro. So this lane setup is looking pretty good for OG, especially because they also have the Undying laning against Wraithing on the opposite side of the map and decrease damage and making it harder for him.
Now, I like this movement coming out from Viking. We talked very much about how the supports are going to need to rotate when Boom's got the dragon form up, but we're seeing the supports also rotate from the side of Viking to try to ensure that they can put damage on this tower. In fact, you're seeing the Spin-Up Creeper is tanking a lot of these hits. They've got the Cardi off to the side. Put some damage down. Heck out!
By Sellers instantly chance a new creep so he doesn't get the last hit. Once again, under tower is the perfect creep to have. It's going to split into more to tank it. It just gets so much damage onto the tower here. Really well done with that Champions rotation.
Thompson's just going to clean up the waves, though, and still, you know, we talked about rotations, and the rotations coming up from Viking are just very nice. Kind of anticipating the fact that they're probably going to see ports, and it made a little bit of space here. His career did die during that, though. Looks like
that's not, man. They're so happy with how much the tower here. Earthshaker probably dead here, though.
Yeah, this is not looking good for him. He's going to go down, mid-1 gets the kill, and Keizu is going to get hit with the loose beam, but should be able to walk away.
That was just an amount of damage to the tower. The rotation with the double creep while the catapult was there. Really well done with their first Dragon Knight ultimate. To put pressure on the map, open things up a little bit, make it easier for Viking to go for ganks. They don't have the best ganking heroes. That's one downside to this early part, that they don't necessarily have the best heroes to pressure count in a really strong way. But I think the way mid-one's having next game on the top lane too, they're make Kezu's life hard. His net worth is good. Maybe we'll see another. They're gonna use it. No tail take try to deal a little bit. But they've got clips on mid ones, so you've got to be careful with circle.
See that he's hanging back quite a bit. Does have the Earthshaker hiding off the street line. There's the lift right back. The Eclipse, like we talked about. Vidra comes out, but it doesn't matter. Wrath of Nature comes out from Seth and cleans up on Keizu.
Yep. Only one range people left. They're able
Radiant's
to
bottom tower
cross the board at the same time, so entirely. And again, this dual lane for Vikings. You guys aren't going to believe this, but is going a completely standard item build. Mid one going for the Massive Manus Rush. I know, it's weird.
Is this mid-one playing?
Hard to
Could be. We've seen enough of those. Oh, they get the kill on that's Couriers. Thompson with the Dream Coil looking to finish off over on Distant Actress. One more hit should do the trick. Down goes Celery.
Short-lived creatures.
That we get the charge.
Doing doing, but
Radiant's bottom
isn't
tower
great.
has been
They end
denied.
up denying the tower, so yeah, the tower pressure goes really solid. They lost mid tower 2 points here where that one died, but it's gone. So Viking not necessarily doing the best in their lanes, but getting the full tower kill at this point. Top though wants to get a kill here on the Luna. Doesn't have his ulti. He's gonna get spotted by Saksa.
Sure if everybody's right in their position. Okay, so using the exorcism, look at the teleports coming out. Now, no, it's going to top. It's going to come out over here onto the Rubik, and they have the tombstone as well. There's a lot of taking in over onto the back line. Aramis is going to have to TP out. But it attracts a lot of attention here. That's not looking super great for Gomez. He's going to have to try and teleport out. I don't think they have the stun though, so he's going to... The exorcism gotten used though over here on the side. Like
Really bad at Wallpaper, Jake to have one more kill there, but Tomb was obviously fantastic. Very little chance to fight because he was able to get from the
Dire's top tower is under
he
attack.
doesn't get slowed
Dire's
because of being firm.
structures are
Now
fortified.
Uji's got the pressure of this tower, and it looks like Seb's gonna clean it up.
he's got his little tree. Of course, those are the baby ones.
Dire's top tower
Big boy
has
stage
fallen.
step, but will become an issue later on. I have
Climax!
taken. Oh, sure's gonna get. No.
Technically,
Right. Well, there he is here, though. Has the impetus. Look, to use the dream card. Over here on the side, they'll be able to take down Kaisu's Aramis. They're stuck in the trees. He has no hope of escape. Down he goes. Mid one gets a double kill.
Here for a
Don't
battle.
tell my dad creep.
Radiant
Really
are
close.
scanning.
Running for his life. Okay, he's gonna be okay. Oh, is he greedy? He's gonna go for it. No, he's scared right now. He was like one hit away from dying to that ghost creep, but he ends up escaping. That was dangerous.
He's just gonna
3 points.
walk out like a
the
bullshit.
tree, the tree.
This time,
They don't even need them
Dire's
here.
middle tower.
They don't even need them.
potential
Radiant
Like,
structures
you
are
don't slow people's
fortified.
spirit siphon, so you have to like ulti people to score really big kills. That's what makes it hard.
Seb, the blink cord.
said he's gonna jungling in this area. A little scary for sure, though.
Radiant's
Gotta
bottom
be careful
tower
with this whole
is
team
under
running
attack.
top looking for Boom. He might spot him with the orb.
Oh, they spot
do.
him.
They see him. He can't blink 10 seconds. He does have a quelling, so he can get out a little bit, but they can do some checks here. Quelling for Undying, unfortunately, and yes, be able to get out.
They got him, but they don't have the dream while.
The mid one shifted to go push out the safe, so no threat to him. But they're just playing basically really high-paced Dota this game. They generally do this when they have profit because they know that they can tempo the game so well. And they're slowed down by almost nothing here. Having Undying, he's always ready to go basically with Tombstone. Hobson's rushing E-Blades so that he can get as much kill potential as possible right now. Now they're trying to get Boom, trying to finish the kill they want.
Oh, looks like they'll find some prey here. They go up with the Orchid to lift the top. Back they have the Stolen Spirit Siphon, and it takes a little do it. Eventually, Seb will slay the Dragon Knight. Not going back. Good. It's over here onto KZ. Hobson just playing around a little bit.
Wraith King stunning any of those people is put them in a new spot, but for now, great space creation by OG while mid one continues to farm and normal stuff here. Gonna probably do either S and Y or Manta. It looked like a Manta game a bit. You can silence, DK stun, you can dodge these out. Might be in trouble.
He's okay here. Evie's on the other side of the fissure. It's a little bit scary. Look at Seb already making his rotation. The Orchid online. Celery and KZ are nearby, but they're very close to the tower. Like they'll back off. Teleport's coming down. They look like they want to fight, Bird.
Good vision for Viking at the moment. If they can deal with that. No is not here. It's gonna make fighting very difficult until he gets there with the 2-play. No Tail has not purchased boots yet. He tried to buy a second Windlace, making a mistake here. No, he's gonna bring it out. All right, 2 Windlace. Fine. Who needs
Here
boots?
we go.
He's got other perfect items for his circumstance. Damn. I don't know if you noticed.
We'll
He's
see.
queued it up, I think.
We'll
He
see.
knows. He's
right.
figured it out.
Well, they're trying to make a smoke play here, and they are separated up a bit. It's like they're a little excited over on the side of Viking, not quite sure where they want to go. And around that mid lane. That is abandoned by the rest of the team, as it looks like they probably have enough time to go and bring out that reincarnation. Yes, it is, but the follow up going right back in again with the slow. Turn their attention now over to No Tails. Good dream coils. They do have the exorcism coming out from KZ. No Tails taking so much damage. He actually does go down. Boom next to fall, though. And that's a bit worrisome since he is the big tanky. Dancing around over on the back line. They'll find the
for Viking, but
clips the they don't have to worry about exorcism.
Van Break back, he will keep possessing fight. But
Nice skill,
Right.
though.
I mean, it's only 7%. I can't. Okay, he's going to need to grow bow. That makes more sense. Amplifies his damage, gives him attack speed. That makes the Van Brace. But I think Van Brace is definitely better than Possess Mask. He's already got some light.
Well, I'm not gonna argue with Mid. He likes to do things a little bit whack sometimes, but things that they always seem to work out.
Radiant
Not this
are
game. Everything's
scanning.
very standard that he's playing.
Except for that Grove bow.
No. I like the Grow. Said Possess Mask over Van Brace.
Oh, okay, yeah. Alright.
Grow bow makes sense.
Makes a little Alright, well, Seb pushing out the bottom lane here. Aramis just kind of the tree line. A bit of experience. It's a lot of movement.
Dyer's top tower
that top
is under
area.
attack.
Immediately coming out now from OG. They want to try to punish this. It's gonna be quite quick.
It's up on Luna though. No engagement, but they keep Prophet alive. They need to buy a little bit of time till it's BKB before we can fully commit to these fights. I'm not too surprised to see, but with the map control they have of this, I'm sure it's ready to fight very soon.
Especially our team over here on Puck. Like Thompson would love to skirmish anytime that the rest of the team is.
Up on Aethelon too, as well. Interesting. I've seen this a couple times. On an Aethelon on Puck and this spell like Eagles or something. But clearly, seems like being able to go farther away is great. Being able to go farther with the Wayne gives you more options. It's gonna help make him get away with the fact that he doesn't have a blink.
I like their movements with it through the area, trying to clear it out. They're using mid one as a
Dyer's middle
Blade
tower
gets
is
used
under
over on the
attack.
side, though. A little warning here from Thompson.
And they stole Vampire Spirit. Watch out.
Oh man, all that nice skill. How do you
Dyer's
stop
middle
him now?
tower is under attack.
It's not even an aura anymore. I don't. It's like it just works on. God kills
Well,
creeps
socks
now.
though.
Spawns some skeletons. Watch out.
There we go. Being placed over on the mid tower. They really can't do anything against the mid one.
Dyer's middle
Tower
tower
slices
has
through the
fallen.
creeps, gets a little heal
Dyer's
top off here from No
bottom
Tail.
tower is under attack.
And the bottom area, two-pronged attack. Looking pretty good right now for OG. Mo coming out though from the side of Viking. Can't get anything from those.
Got Radiance on Wraith King. He wants to run into this, but running uphill into the Tri-Camp is really hard.
Dyer's bottom
Dire
tower
scanning,
has
spotting,
fallen.
they just know that approaching that way is going to be tough, so
Yeah.
they're going to try to see if OG will
Oh,
lead
but the orb
Tri-Camp.
potentially. All right, well they have a
Unless the
party
clock breaks
hitting
or not.
their
Dyer's bottom tower is under
tower
attack.
over here, and mid one's got an Aegis.
Radiant's
He managed to get a
courier
career
has
snipe.
Dyer's structures are fortified.
Push.
Radiant's
You
top
can take
tower is under
this split
attack.
shot damage.
They have a ward
Radiant
here.
structures.
They know. Celery so far forward here. Rapid danger plus a recoil over on two. Like should be able to take down Celery first. Over on the back line. So nice occasion. He tries to teleport out. He's not going to be able to listen me. And they're chasing him on the back line. Eventually to fall.
Radiant's top
That's so
tower
smart
is
by
under
OG. They
attack.
knew that the most from is the heads on the map roll. Except Wraith King, they anticipated this, had the ward and the sentry, and Dyne was perfectly positioned. And then they dream 12-2, drop the tomb, and then their opponents are forced to fuck. Luna might lose his Aegis here, though.
Yeah. I don't know. They need one more hit. Okay. Great fire blast. Echo Slash coming good over on the back line. Unit to take down mid one. A lot of damage though. But Fear Shaker's trying to run away. He will eventually pop. BKB coming out now from Seb. No Tail tries to run away, tries to use the whip to his own advantage. Does get chased down by Celery.
All right, nicely done. They lose the initial team fight, but mid way too aggressively in the high ground gets stunned under tower. Aegis gets burned, and that gives them the opportunity to finally commit all of their big ultimates and kill him. So, misfire there by mid one. Rare mistake. He does finish his Sanjin Yash. 2 minute up butterfly. We're gonna see the but once again, one high ground finds a random breaking here. The evidence that Luna is a bit of a squish here. He's got 18 armor there. His raw HP was only like 15. because of his optimization. Before he finished the SI, his only strength items were basically a wand and a black king bar, so that is why he was so versatile.
Such mimicry.
He'll be sitting a little tankier, and status resist higher too.
Man, No Tail tried real hard to keep him alive that entire time, but still was having some difficulty with the amount of damage. Shard was the next item on Earthshaker's grocery list, as it should be. And we do have the shard picked up now on Rubik, where he's able to lift his own about safety. How do you feel about that one?
This one? I think it's perfect in this. It's something I was thinking about saying when the Luna was disabled. If they have a Glimmer Cape, Luna probably survives that second round of damage. And but Undying, you know, he had to buy 2 wind laces. He was really poor as a result. So, you know, haven't been able to put a wind lace, a Glimmer Cape yet. Rubik has one queued up as well, but he's not there yet. So now, yeah, maybe he could have spent that 1,400 gold he spent on his shard just buy a Glimmer Cape instead. But this is also going to solve similar issues. Throw range 60% longer, cooldowns reduced by 30% when targeting allies, and the throw delay is 0.5 seconds. If he just gone on, Earthshaker shard doesn't matter anymore. You toss him away from the fissure. There's no follow-up stun. It's hard counter.
Well, he has to make sure that he's not the one who's also getting.
Absolutely, but like he's got an Aether Lens already, and he's got 250 cast range from Arcane Supremacy. Like telekinesis cast range has got to be like 800 or something at least right now. We won't be able to see the area until the game gets. It's going to be really far. You sit back. He's going to wait until Luna gets put in a really bad position, like Dragon Knight goes in, blink stuns, and that's when you throw safe. Later on, they'll follow it up with Glimmers.
Our observer's trying to show you the about that he can do that. You don't trust them.
I mean, they can estimate as well, but unless not the cast
you need
range,
cold hard, you know, facts there. You need to have the actual measurements.
Something like that, yeah. It's not always accurate. The cast ranges get.
That is true.
This one would work. Got a decent fire blast, so he's looking. Effective cast range. They will invade and reset the game. They still have a worth advantage, of course. Seb finishes KB there. I don't know if he has another item coming out or he has no money. Here's that he just has no money.
Oh, that's a feels bad, man. All right, Purge, moment of truth here. Tell me your estimation. Who's got the higher win probability right now?
Looking.
Oh, look, yeah, you can't look at
It's got to be OG, sure.
Okay. But what's the percentage? I don't know. I'm not in charge of the observer, the camera, or anything like that. We're taking a nice stroll in the Radiant Jungle right now.
I mean, we just got them to estimate the range of telekinesis. I'm sure they could also press one hockey and check the probability. I don't know.
Classy Purge.
It's got to be at least. I think it's like 75 right now. If they hadn't made those mistakes, then much higher. I don't know if they necessarily would have gotten a Rax there, but they certainly would have kept pressure on the map, and now they're more reset. But they still have a net worth advantage. They have a little bit more map control. Roach has got a ways. Oh, he responds, but I just feel a little bit more confident in their.
How much then does it shift once they've managed to get those items? Because it is the raid paint factor, right? We've been seeing him a lot throughout the the full DPC, and it seems like, especially if you get a magical item, the Giant's Ring, it shift a lot more towards your favorite.
You're right that things could change heavily in the next 40 minutes, but I think what's crucial is that most of the Viking lineup is about blowing up the one guy, and the fact that OG has the one guy in the front hitting buildings, not that Prophet can't do it, not that Puck can't do it a little bit, but Luna is like the tower hitter. So they have all these great heroes for chain stunning and for bursting. If OG gets a solution to that, it becomes much harder for Viking to play. So having thesis and target allies this time, it's actually pretty ingenious, because Summer alone would help, but if they have and they combo physical damage with all these stuns, they can still kill Luna. So the fact that he can just do this while Luna is stunned has basically turned telekinesis into a disruption base. Could, like, absolutely with perfect OG positioning, like, give them no chance to lose. I mean, they don't get picked up. So I think OG's in a great position, especially with that shard pickup, if it works as good as we are assuming it.
We're doing a lot of crafting here, obviously, but it would be pretty neat to see if, the telekinesis shard option is, something that could be used to save your cores from the Earthshaker shard itself, because it feels like not a lot of solutions to that aside from like something like tanky. But my other question too is that, you know, Keizu having a really rough time on this Death Prophet. What does he need to be able to do to become a little bit more relevant here?
Basically, he just has to be ready to get into close range of the enemy team at the same time that they are bursting. But it's kind of hard, right? Because his allies are going to jump in, combo the Luna, for example, and ideally he would want to be there with damage with Extamon with Spirit Siphon going, but then he's going to get caught up in like Puck Coil and things like that. So it's kind of hard for him. If he had like a BKB, I'd feel more confident. He does have the Ogre Club, so he's getting there. The Ogre Axe, excuse me, Dota 1 name.
Oh my god, unforgivable Purge.
But once he gets BKB, it'll be a lot easier. Just waits till his allies find a good initiation, ideally a hero where Totem fall up and he runs in at the same ulti off on and BKB active, and then he can a bunch of damage. That's maybe the solution, right?
Yeah.
Watch out for the Rubik telekinesis, slap a silence on him for that 6 seconds.
Yeah, but he's got to just, like you said, a lot of it comes down to the position. It feels like any time that Keizu goes a little bit forward, he's immediately blown up.
Yes, and that's because he's behind. He's got great items for this context, though. Lots of magic resistant bow. The talent that does the same thing. He's got essence. He understands that like he's just trying to get as tanky as possible right now for as cheaply as possible. But it doesn't, in a normal circumstance where his net worth is quite as low, it would be.
Then so I feel like Viking has to play a little bit of catch up here, but unfortunately for us guys, we are having a connection. So we're actually going to toss it to a break. I know you guys are all very disappointed. We're very excited to be watching it. But we are going to just short break here, and hopefully when we come back, we'll have more of the Viking versus OG.
Interesting.
Shocking.
The next label play.
It was your own damn fault.
Interesting.
Alright, welcome back everyone. To go with more Viking versus OG. Now that
Dire's top tower is
looks
under
like
attack.
things are already shaping up. We've got a bit of an invasion going on into the Dire jungle there.
Yeah, OG basically just instantly smoked. They put a sentry on the cliff. They put a tombstone down mid, and they're basically just doing this to make sure that Viking can't
Dire's
pressure
top
the time to take
tower
this tier 2. And so something BJ pointed out to me during the break was the shard on Rubik. If you seal Fissure, it also gives you the Earthshaker shard basically. So it'll allow him to proc Aftershock with either telekinesis or they're gonna catch enchantments over here.
Yeah, Hillary. It was a little bit of movement. Still have the vision on her. I mean, they can't really hit her that hard, right? With the untouchable, but they can burn her down. And in fact, that's exactly what they're going to do. So little assistance from Thompson.
I don't know if that counts as bursting. That was like slowly completed a task over the course of like 4 months, and you feel really good about it.
You call that 4 months? I didn't think it was that long.
Considering it's a 5-position hero, yeah, that's the way to stay alive. Boomer Cape, raw HP. Find some time. He wanted to keep blocking the Ancient, because he doesn't want those stacks to happen while they have really good control of the map, because then it's going to make sure that Luna has way more farm.
Some big boy items picked up though. Bloodthorn just completed now. And of course, we do have the BKB on Shad now. He's making his way towards this Nature's Prophet. Up here, turns with the BKB with Bloodthorn, does a decent chunk of damage here over to Shad. Not sure if he was quite expecting that just yet. And you can see the other members of OG making their way down to help out there.
It's totally fine. I mean, they forced the BKB out. That's absolutely what they want. It's really entertaining though. But in some ways, like, it's going to help them close the game out faster potentially if you catch a hero out of position, namely Death Prophet or Wraith King or Dragonite. They're just going to do infinitely more damage, especially because, so think of the combo. This is a cool combo. Lunar Blessing gives everybody 35 more bonus damage on your team, so everybody's already hitting harder. And then with Bloodthorn, everybody's hitting guaranteed crits for 30% more damage on top of that. So it's a big damage amplification with combo Aura with Bloodthorn. So probably the reason I pushed it.
Initiation, they immediately spot out No Tail, so they'll be able to remove him from this next fight if they're going to go in for one. It's up. This will, of course, be...
So if they can slow this down, it's going to be a hard though. Some are awards in position. They just hitting it up, but yeah.
I mean, it's scary, right? Especially. All right, Boom making some moves over here. They're going to just try to block as they can. Need a little bit more, but they will find it. Mid one here, trying to just perform damage to that BKB. Does get shot through as Keizu. They managed to go and finish off the road. And will get himself an Aegis.
You know, all things considered, not terrible for OG. They do lose Rubik to get stunned for actually 4 months, but the big thing is they pop BKBs and big cooldowns on that enemy team. Still help us land, but this would be a great time for OG to go take a fight once Rubik is up.
Double damage spotted by No Tail. He's gonna snap that up.
Neutral items for right clicking.
Local flame.
Well, Undying, they work with destruction. Do that often, but he's going to be slowing people when he hits them anyway, so just another amplified damage.
Factory completed now. Fourth top.
Really low cooldowns on his spells. 4.5 seconds. He's just going to go be aggressive. And map control, level 20 stuff for Wraith King on Elven next. So this is a really nice advantage. 421 movement speed without turning his phase on, 500 movement speed with phase on. It's going to help make up for the fact that he does not have a blink dagger.
It's coming out though.
Okay, he also has a blink dagger. My point is...
It's hard. It's going to be very speedy. You got to go fast.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It is important that you can
attack.
initiate instantly. If you walk in and Puck's able to dream coil you, then your damage isn't there to follow up on the chain stun that your allies are doing. So definitely important that he has a blink dagger to follow up to trap.
It is nice to be able to follow up. So your
Radiant's
jumps in once Dragon Knight has jumped in. You got to be fast.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That will have that for the engagement. I feel like a lot of the times they're trying to, I won't say hunt Seb, but they're trying to take him out of the equation because he's just doing things like this, right? Courage, you know, popping up in the lane, putting more pressure down.
Attack.
Very
network right now. He hasn't even abused his shard yet, just
under
using regular treants and right clicks, but you know, he's more mobile than his opponents. They've got daggers and they are taking tier 2 towers, but he's getting some free damage in.
They need to get here. try to save this tower. It's here. Side of OG.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Butterfly smash for Luna too. This is a master man like normal. Gets the butterfly. Shad is queuing up. He queued up MKB before actually. Now he's queuing up Abyssal Blade. And again, this is the same Wraith King problem we see with Evasion Heroes right now. MKB just does not do good images like it used to. As a result, it feels bad to buy it. I'm sure we'll give him options. Luna is certainly be hard to kill, but her raw HP is still kind of only about 2,000. So if they can take fights where she uses DK and go on her afterwards, they definitely.
What are your thoughts on this queuing of a rapier, right?
For Luna, I think it makes sense. This is like another one of those like death ball strategy things. You can just win a fight, they're gonna end the whole game. But everyone's got to be careful here.
One has to be very careful because the fissure, the blink, and both of them plus the actual it's just obliterate and then they're gonna chase after No Tail here. They even use the exorcism. Well, it does get snapped though on the side. Catch him. They need to stun him as well. He's hiding behind this tree, so he is gonna get out alive.
Reaper's looking less good right now. I don't know what it is, but looked a little bit rough, the amount of damage that was. But yeah, very versatile. The one hero that could have saved him would have been Rubik. Within range to do the allied telekinesis. Even then, probably unlikely, because that was a lot of hate. Hitting one here at the same time. You can tell you a butterfly. It's hitting low ground, kind of dangerous anyways, but range fissure, stun follow-ups, they everything.
Radiant are scanning.
They got the burst.
Radiant's top tower.
I mean, to be fair, you know, that rapier, if she was picking that up at that point, she would not be playing that forward, right? That's not
Probably not.
playing that fast. A bit of a shock.
I mean, didn't necessarily want to fight them, and he was kind of. But they do still have Aegis on Dragon Knights, so not even going to fight right now. But maybe everyone just getting a little bit too stuff on where he farms something. And the net worth is getting pretty evened out. The one hero that was lacking before was Death Prophet, but he's good. He's second. And he's got to play it. So Prophet's basically at survivable moment. The survivable moment you wanted, so you can run in and do a bunch of damage. Well, maybe it's time to Prophet Rat at this point by the shard.
Well, that was the thing that, you know, before we split to a little bit of a break here, you know, I asked, what do they need to have online? You know, what do they need for the side of Viking to cut ground? AP is going to be very important over the Death Prophet, getting some more items over on Wraith King, obviously. Shard. So now that they have that, they're making more and more headway here, but is it quite enough just yet?
It's looking pretty solid, honestly. Like, Dragon Knight's falling off. Actually, his net worth is still decently high. He's picked up AC as well. That means Wraith King does not have to buy it, so a little bit quicker into his next items. And I don't think that's a big deal at all, because the carry on the enemy team is the Luna. That's more of like an AoE type carry with hybrid magic and physical. So, like, I don't think it doesn't matter for Wraith King that he doesn't have as much raw armor as normal. So they're actually covering themselves really well with the itemization got in a way that's going to allow Wraith King to be this net worth is going to feel higher impact. Abyssal and Armlet and Radiance and BKB.
Oh, the fissure, but immediately the follow-up here from Thompson. Wrath of Nature, so much damage. He steals the fissure, so he will go down for the first time. Rest of the team standing nearby. BKB comes out from chat. They've got no way to cancel out this TP now, so out he goes, and the rest of the team is fling. Nice long fissure though from Stock to Keizu. He's gonna be forced to pop his own BKB. Go home.
Again, with this sticker and the shard on route, anytime he fishes something, he can use Fate Bolt and telekinesis follow-ups to proc Aftershock. This is a great moment here for OG. He's killed so many BKBs are popped, and now it's gonna be scared for them to take a fight.
Letting Rubik have this fissure, it's a pretty big oop. Yeah, look at that range. There it is. Jump forward here from Boom, but immediately getting silenced out over on the side, trying to make moves on mid one. KB gets popped, plus the Glimmer Cape, but Boom can't do anything. He's literally just standing here in the tree. Whoa, he's when he echoes him down, he gets chases on. They go instead of these TPs, and they just don't have it, so they're able to just walk away here on the side of OG, or in the terms of Puck, you know, he can just jaunt away. Aram is chasing after him, but be able to catch him.
No, I was going to describe the orbs of steel that mid one had in the mid lane by not popping BKB while at 1k HP, but eventually he does get punished for it really heavily. Probably expected his team to be able to save him, but once again, Luna just looking like she's a great tower player, but she's very vulnerable to this mass burst damage with stuns. And she dies again in a moment where she didn't get to pop her BKB, getting the ulti, and the tower got denied. So OG still hasn't gained some strength.
Have you seen any successful for Luna's win yet? At least in our regions.
I have not seen it. I'm pretty sure she was like last time I'll talk about she was something like 0-4.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a massive opening, but and just the they got some little skirmish kills, but it's a little dangerous because they're bird. Not so much bird that it's difficult to pop BKB at the right moment. Doing up next, that like being to this like death ball, I'm ahead of you in net worth Luna. It's not gonna happen. Actually with Rape, like 4 ahead of you. Where like contribute the fights by ulting, and hopefully like it'll be like they bait out BKBs, Dream Coil goes down, and he just drops the ulti and it like blazes in the sky. That's the best way that he can contribute before the.
All right, well, the smoke is up over on the side of the and they're hunting. Do have Roche up. They've got their little river in there. Walk first pit, they find the Luna, and they blow her. Save here with telekinesis left, just throwing her away to safety. She gets tossed out, Glimmer Cape, but they have the sentry. 4-step forward. Rip it down. Another Fissure getting tossed out. Here's the Earthtaker. Still down. They go right in. They blow up Nota. It's gonna happen on the back end here. They'll be able to go get the kill on Aramis. No buyback on this Earthshaker. He did not manage to get the Echo Slam off either.
With Rubik resealing Fissure, he's got another, what, 2 minutes? That's like 4 minutes. There's a lot of time to use this Fissure comp.
Such a long range, too, as mid one putting out damage here. There's going to be the lift. Followed up here with smokes in the silence. They'll blow him up the first time. They need to kill him again. It's going to be very difficult because just runs up, has the Abyssal, jumps over here onto the puck, and they finish him off. Taking some time, but eventually Thompson does go down. But we've got a Nature's Prophet problem here. Of course, go home, defend his racks.
Finally did the dummy Prophet thing, and that's by the chart, and it paid off big time. Gets a tier 3 tower and the melee rare. I cannot believe that mid one has not processed BKB more than once. I thought for sure he was going to do it there. He just has these diamond hands, dude. He does not let go at all. And it's going to pay off because, again, they have so many stuns. Keeping his BKB charges high is a nice advantage.
Scanning.
We'll see. Viking Compressor Roach with 2 dead heroes, especially the dieback on Undying. They've got some time. Luna's 1-5 right now. The 1 win.
That makes sense. Secret makes miracles happen with heroes. Look at Boom. Oh my god, he has to pop the BKB. That's just doing way too much damage, but you do have the rest of Viking. They're in the pit. First Shaker, of course. He can jump in with the Echo Slam. He's got to make his way over there first. There's Shat. He's taking so much damage here over on the side, but he'll turn right back around again. He's going to man fight. Can they get the gun? Yes, they can. Down goes the Nature's Prophet. Now mid one taking a little ride here up in the air. Does have the Eclipse Shadow jumping on the back end. He wants to rip that quick, and he will do. He's had enough of him. As they'll just turn back around in mid one. He popped that BKB, but he's going to have to run away from this pit. Chad's back up, gets right back into the pit, and this is going to be a Roche, I think, going the way of Vikings.
Perhaps the greatest Chad the Chad moment. Like jumping out of the pit and basically killing Nature's Prophet full to 0. I mean, he got him down to like 30% before he even stopped getting stunned, and as a result, Prophet, who was like, I'm just going to finish him off, then maybe BKB, he got that extra bastion, and all of a sudden it was just too late, and he ends up dying. Like, Luna had to finally commit to the BKB, use the Eclipse, and they still lost the fight. What a big one. Did they get it? I didn't check Roche. Was that Refresher?
That was Refresher.
Yeah, that was Refresher. Refresher was the best one.
It's got cheese on her as well, so Kazu's got to be pretty happy about that. She's also completed the Lotus Orb. Things are turning around for the Death Prophet. That's a very rough laning stage early on, where she did very effective. But, down here.
They do get the Illusionist Cape on Luna. This is probably the best heroes to get it on. Like, it's up there with like PL Terrorblight type stuff, because this illusion is doing 50% of your damage and it cleaves. Like, you can actually push out. So it's like free Manta. It's insanely good on Luna, and it's permanently up.
Okay. Chad.
Someone
fine.
died. It's not important. It's not a
How
big
dare
deal.
you say that the flower is not important?
I mean, Undying very killed.
Bounty.
He opted for a BOT Sentry to help deal with the
Double
profit
damage.
issue, but still stupidly fast with Elven Tunic on top of this. 491 movements at all times.
Double damn. Look at how hard shot.
It's an
Alright, well, making the plays. It seems like it was just a couple minutes ago they had a 5k lead over the side to OG. It's already shifted to it's Viking now.
the tough thing about these like slope kind of rounds, you can't make two mistakes if you go for your high ground mode. And because OG
Radiant's
swapped
middle
it up a little
tower is
bit,
under attack.
things have gone harder.
Purge, they just stole the Luna aloof.
Oh no. The hard counter, Enchantress. She's useful.
Well, they also
Great.
managed to steal some of the big trees as well earlier on, too. But, okay, Shad the Chat is just harvesting everyone's bones. Soxa's, now very dead.
I like how Midwin's just up here and spawning his illusionist cape,
Oh, he's
so
getting
he can go like shout lane. It's not that big of a deal if he's not hitting, and he is kind of vulnerable to be spotted on the map.
Radiant's
way that-
courier has
yeah.
been killed.
The way that Shad is just playing this game, he's having his own time of his life here. As he finds kill on Soxa, Luna's courier comes by with the point, murders that. He's just literally like
Yeah.
a one-man wrecking ball right now. The way that anything
Radiant's
shows
top
up on the
tower is
map,
under
you know,
attack.
Shad smash.
He's doing a great job. And buying all luxury items, upgrades his BOTs to BOTs 2, gives him an extra 20 movement speed in case it wasn't fast enough. And with the Trickster Cloak on top of this, better magic resistance so he doesn't have to BK as much, and evasion built in to make him even stronger against Luna. And he can also go invisible in anticipation of getting kills. Just a perfect neutral item
Radiant's
here.
middle tower is under attack.
Lose much.
Radiant structures are
I like
fortified.
the way that they're using these items around kind of like have the well that's looking like Death Prop's having a bit of difficulty trying to send some health here and turn back around. Okay, Tombstone. Shad looking for an opening, finds himself a no-tail. He thinks Chonky Boy, but is nothing for the dynamic duo Boom and Shad. And now they'll turn their attention over here to the tower as they wait for the creep wave to appear.
Phase of the game that leaders are not nearly as effective. They lost a lot of advantage from things slowing down. They are split pushing well with Prophet still, but
Yep,
they really got to slow this down. Almost lifted, but he did not want to get himself, so no back.
Oh, Seb. Oh, okay, they go for it with the dream coil again. The beast beats out. They're going to try to man fight here. Trying to put down the burst, but they can't as they turn back around over onto Seb. This is not looking good for him. He is going to go down as Shad is just rolling after them here. With that Lotus Storm, Casey chasing down over here on the Luna. Does manage to get the catch. Silence. The follow up with the Eagle. Turn right back around again. He'll be able to dispel it thanks to the flicker.
Very good use there. Movement speed on Death Prophet is excellent here. Removes E-Blade. Shad covering his teammates well. Like all these goes on Pezu have been effective, but him having cheese, he still has another cheese by the way. Having BKB, having focus games. Now he's at this position where he's really difficult to kill, and the single target raw burst damage from OG is just not there so much. Luna is not the most incredible single target hero.
Is starting to feel a little bit desperate for the side of OG here. Are we still looking at a rapier here for Luna? I feel like she can't, like she needs to get damage, but at the same time, like it's too risky, right?
Yeah, it's pretty risky. He's waffling behind. Sometimes he queues it up, then he goes back to queuing up Ags. His courier might have they're Undying.
There's another double damager outside the Roche pit.
Okay. Anybody would love to have it with that.
Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna help himself to it. Soxa, you
Radiant's
better
middle
run,
tower is under
boy.
attack.
You don't want to deal with that. Meanwhile, Boom's just hitting your buildings. Take the illusion over, try to push them back a bit. Split comes out. Shad here, and he's got the double damage. He doesn't have any fear. Coria again. Woo. They're shredding through these buildings. The Prophet is going to be up in about 5 seconds. Just have to buy back as well, but
Radiant's middle
that
has fallen.
they'll do the damage, take the tower and the racks, and perhaps take a rotation top and help themselves to that as well.
Roots and run.
A really cool thing Mid One's doing here, whenever the illusion gets taken over by enchant, I believe what he's doing is he's dropping his illusion. Do that and dies, because otherwise you just spawn it and backpack it and it'd be kind of buggy. So it's kind of a that, but maybe they can get this enchantress up too. We haven't been for a while.
They should be able to.
Bounty.
Down go Stellar. You're just a little bit too far behind the rest of the team right now. They're gonna leave you to die, but we do have a refresh orb running now. The Death Prophet.
Got to be really happy with the early game. He's done a great job staying alive, being in, out of position in enough that your opponent's going to fight, but not the long that you end up not being defended. Off though, that's just a ninja.
It's just a ninja. I love that though. I really like the way they're using that because of the fact that Dragon Knight can just, you know, sit on the outskirts of these fights, find the opening, and then just they really just don't have the vision on him. They do manage to pick up a gem on the side of OG, right, to reduce some of the vision. But in the bottom lane, Chef has found himself another victim here, Seth. Follow up here from Boom plus the Abyssal Blade. That's a success.
Such a good job pressuring him.
This king is truly an undying king. 8-0 and 8 right now.
Yep. Insane movement speed anywhere. Tons of damage here. The heroes are just falling off on the OGs. They really needed to take up barracks earlier than they did. When they got a little bit cheesy, they succeeded, but maybe Puck Itemization you can criticize a little bit, but his goal is to just into the fights in good ways, and he's got really effective abilities. His Winging Rift almost perma-silence, 3.5 second uptime out of 4.
Thompson, Aramis is here too. You've got plenty of stuns, and there's boots of travel. They jump forward here. Looks like Thompson just a little bit fast with the fingers, though. Run away as Soxa hides in the tree line and teleport.
Done by the Soxa to save him. It wasn't kind of funny there watching Earthshaker have to play his hero the normal way, where he like fissured, he gets thrown, he's like, oh man, I blink in. It's so much less effective. Yeah. But not able to kill him. Thompson stays alive. Still pushing the map really effectively here. Still look for cooldown stuff. Got the part with Wayne that pushes it back a little bit, deals a little bit of damage with Wayne.
So we do have the Ags complete, and she's looking back towards that.
Yeah, I mean, kind of have to, I think.
You don't seem sold on it.
Dangerous. I like Ags first because they can like 2 different ways to play. We can either.
Oh, the lockdown is real on this poor little puck, and down he goes.
Took all their spells. They fight. Same time, Sox kind of grind, but yes. So they can 2 ways to play fights. He can follow up disable with Eclipse and kill somebody without having to fully commit. And it also gives them the ability to do instinct as you.
Oh, these two. Work. Up illusion. Okay, he calls him up. He says, "I've got a hero over there." He says, "I will be up there." Rushes over and he's dead. It's so scary.
It is. Full itemization on chat as well. Goes for a heart. Has almost no armor. Was that about?
I don't know. I think he might have triggered it.
It might have been safety. I mean, he went full. This is like the one thing I think I can maybe criticize about his build. I wonder how different the game might have been if you went to armor talent instead of 20% reduction. Problem reduction so you get more done on the map, but those mid-game deaths might not have gone as poorly as did opposite.
Radiant structures are fortified.
We are where we are. Viking pressuring bottom.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm waiting for
his middle barracks is fortified.
There's a rapier picked up now. Those dancing around here. Rathnation does get tossed out, but there's no taking a hit over here on Steph. Keep pushing, but I have so many ghosts here. Where's your key question?
It was bottom, remember? Top is BK. By the way, Prophet then top as well.
Radiant's bottom barracks
up.
Yep.
And they're finally going to just use the Echo Stem. They've had enough of him. Abyssal comes out, and they'll slice that. But he does have buyback. Like Celery again, just taking a little bit far behind the rest of the team. Has capable just go and get some support, but we'll get the lead up here over on Casey though, using the Yule, buys himself a little bit more time. Celery still trying to fight here, not going to be able to, and it's not looking great for Casey this time around. He also will fall. Use
Tries
that
refreshing. Yeah, tried to BKB refresher into BKB to escape there, but a little bit tough, not able to do it. And kind of a perfect circumstance for Luna against Enchantress too. Just don't attack the Enchantress, you attack the Death Prophet, and then the boss is going to hit her anyway, so it works out great fading off there. I'll say that was
Scanning.
There's a lot that was happening. The Ag's blessing. The gift that Roshan can bestow if you can slay him.
They got 2 dead heroes. At least force some buybacks here. Oh yeah, that's right. Prophet killed the whole enemy base. That's right. All the range.
Yeah, they spawn up. Fissure gets tossed out. Eagle Luna adds. I feel like it does too much. The snap though pushing forward. The buyback coming out now immediately as Boom jumping in. Can he burst down No Tail? He's trying. Rest of the team off the way. Nice Fissure coming out. We'll take down No Tail. Mid one has the DKB pop. Boom having to run out. He's gonna be the first death coming out from the Raid King. Come right back up again. He pops the BKB and he's just gonna have to go in with the exorcism. And you do have to take down that tombstone. It's still spawning. Look at the legion of creatures just coming out over into the bottom area. They'll protect their king. Should be able to go and get this rope. Doesn't feel like OG feels confident enough going back into the pit. But they do have 7 people off. Dad's going in. There's a lot of stuff on the ground. Do they pick it up? People who grabs it now. KZ forced to go and use BKB and the Lotus Orb. Gotta be a little careful here, but he should get healed up fairly soon as Shad's just chopping down trees in the base. Cross down. Oh, can they take down Thompson? Looks like they'll be able to take down Solaris Courier, but there's a lot of things going around off the back end as KZ was just trying to see Thompson somehow still alive during all this. Aramis though is going to buy back. Look at this damage coming out here against Boom. That's going to be the Aegis as it gets dropped down. So let me look around. They'll turn their attention now over to the Luna. They need to get enough damage out. They need to be able to man-fight her, and it's not looking like they're going to be able to win this fight. They're taking too much damage. All right, Rage King's coming right back up again, but the rest of the team is here, and they have the Abyssal. They're just slicing through mid one. Can they do it? So do they have enough damage? He's still alive. He's man-fighting all of them. Look at this beautiful creep club. As they go and they throw out the Fissure. Finally, they take down mid one, and they're looking for anything else that they can get. Keza goes down. No Tail that's the fall. This is looking a little scary now for Thompson. He's got to be very slippery here. Uses the orb. Is he going to be able to make it out? Are they going to chase after him? It looks like they tried, but not going to be able to go with the final hop. I'm waiting patiently. Thompson, he's got those damage shoes on. Boy, he's juicing around, but eventually they find him. They stun him up, and down he goes. Thompson. Buy back, though, here from the puck. And there was a lot of that just got placed into their base. What is going on?
Those melee barracks are half HP, not low enough, but the amount of space that Tops is just actually incredibly insane. With these typical items, he just sat there and bought so much time for Luna to get things done, but it wasn't a lot of buybacks. Viking shows up and takes the breaker away.
Oh, the Fissure coming in hot. Chad is here. He's waiting patiently. Is stunned up. They pop with the Echo Slam, though. They know that if they can take down Thompson. There it is. There's that flip, but they don't care on the side of Viking. A decent amount of damage, but when he can't hold against this. There's Q's here. Another long-range Fissure. Blink coming in from Boom. They're just going after No Tail. Down goes, or sorry, Toxa. They'll go right back. So pay attention to these buildings. Buyback now coming out from Rubik. They need to try to force them to this base, and it's gonna become difficult. Now they're forward here. There it is, the Ancient. It's crumbling. They BKB. They've had enough on Viking. They say, we just want to get this done. We want this victory. We want game number 1. Fortification comes out, though. And they try to jump in over onto the back line. No Tail is trying to man-fight them. It's not looking like it's going to be able to. That jump forward over here. It's John Thompson. It's mid one against the roll. And it's not. Gets off.
Their game. I mean, OG lost all the momentum. They missed their timing, but they still did a really good job to try to hold on to this game with the split push, with those Roche fights. Ultimately, Viking just played better in the Roche engagement. I think maybe one of the crucial things was that the Earthshaker Fissure blocked off the mouth of the Roche pit. That kept Midwin trapped in the Roche. He wasn't able to follow up on his Eclipse, on his
5 seconds remaining.
OG's turn to ban.
Radiant team ban.
OG's turn to ban.
Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
OG's turn to pick.
Seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Mistress is not a straightforward hero. She kind of just does a little bit of everything, and it's all about where you put yourself. Seller is just a specialist on it.
Yeah, I really like the approach from OG, just putting that up into the first order, just because think about the laning phase from OG. It's so critical that they have strong lanes and they push through. When you look at Celery's hero pool, Ench is like one of the best lanes that he can bring. And yeah, in game, even if it's a hard game, the Enchantress kind of just became like this walking ward, very hard to deal with. How many times did you see these clips where it spent 12 seconds trying to kill it?
Can we get a stat check, Sheeps? What's Earthshaker's win rate in this upper division of EU?
I think T will have the answer for that faster than considering he's got the fancy tablet thing going on there.
5
Brian,
seconds remaining.
I heard that you actually have a PC at your disposal. So do you want to then?
Nah, I like watching you struggle a bit.
No, that's right, mate. So basically, I only have the stats for...
Okay, I'll look it up, guys.
All right, look,
you
what I'm
guys
gonna make...
continue talking Dota. I will sit here and look it up. Be very clever.
Who told you that?
Oh, I heard Owen in the back. I'm like,
yeah, I was really confused. Like, I do know.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you want to know the stats from all of Europe? From all of
the good.
Just Europe.
So last week it had a 71% win rate in EU. Last week, yeah.
Oh, but that's last week. What about the whole?
The point I was trying to make is that I actually don't know if I'm feeling Nyx over Earthshaker. I think Earthshaker, because of
a shot,
is the best hero to first pick. Just
10 seconds
done in Dota.
I agree, but I also disagree simply for the idea of. No, but listen to think about OG standpoint.
You cannot agree and also disagree. That's not how it works.
You can. Go on.
Over the entire European DPC, 21 games played, 76% win rate.
Yeah.
That is incredibly high.
Is that including low division as well?
Consider it's also first picked almost exclusively.
Yeah, back to the point that you're making. I think for OG, they might not like the Earthshaker simply because the storyline of what you do in the first 15 minutes is more anti-OG, where you want to have aggressive killing lanes, not lane securers. You want to be able to rotate mid aggressively, but not defensively.
You can double rotate with the Shaker. We saw Enigma do that in the game. I felt they looked the best with the Kuro Lion.
You can, but I feel like the options that also fit that role, they prefer, right? And that's kind of the angle here.
Sure.
It is a great hero, but for OG, they might have a different perspective on the entry to the game. That's why I see them maybe going for the Nyx rather than Jacob.
The reason why I think Nyx has fallen out of favor a tad, even though we do see him banned and picked a decent amount, is that he's countered by group push, and I see people just responding with Beastmaster on 4. This is like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen it. I think the Beastmaster has always won because you just get that boat 13, 14 minutes into the game, and Nyx Assassin just doesn't have a game after that. He dies to summons alone. He's scouted for free. It doesn't like bankrupt the supports because they have to buy a bunch of sentries, and then also your spells just don't do anything in team fights, which they're supposed to be this like complete
10
nuisance.
seconds remaining.
That is your big concern because you need levels, a lot of levels
5
to actually be
seconds
real
remaining.
effective. I mean, your hammer's not bad, but you just don't stun enough things. The creeps kill you themselves. Doesn't matter if you CC the Beastmaster.
Also, Kezu did get 11k somehow, and that was it. It's the Beastmaster.
Beastmaster, Enigma, Death Prophet.
Exactly.
All those stuff.
He does.
Turn to
Like he does play a couple of different heroes.
He
He's
did-
not a hero spammer.
No,
which I
he
think
isn't.
is really good.
But the fact that he does lean on Beastmaster,
If it wins him the game, and if it can win him the game here,
all I'm
Right?
saying is I actually gifted Kezu the TI Red Spear for Mars, and he promised he'd play a lot of Mars when I did
10
it.
seconds.
That was when
remaining.
he was on crazy.
Well,
he then proceeded to never play Mars again.
I gifted him
5
sub. What do you think
seconds
he
remaining.
appreciated more?
The sub.
That's right.
It sounds like you got
who?
better monetary value, like per dollar, out of the subscription.
who did you gift him a sub to, Kyle?
I'm lying. I didn't gift.
Which streamer?
I
Thank you.
don't believe in gifting sub.
You don't believe in charity, or is it?
Oh,
I mean, during
let's-
this.
I agree with them whole. Can't have the same game impact without one of these lane disrupting creep carriers.
Exactly. They're all heroes that annoy the Beastmaster, right?
Yeah.
Enigma, the Chen, and then of course Few into Summary. It's the battle of the summons, so yeah, I can see why. Flip side to OG, when he's talking about those bands, DP, DK,
Radiant
SF,
team.
all very good heroes against Void Spirit mid.
Phantom
So you
Assassin.
kind of would feel that most likely this Void Spirit is just going to be your standard mid lane pick.
I would think this Grimstroke pick is genius because a lot
Very
of the heroes that counter Beastmaster, they don't want to get silenced. So I think this pick had to be Disruptor or Grim, just
10
because
seconds
Tidehunter
remaining.
especially, every other silence in the game can be removed by Kraken Shell.
5
And I just think in the
seconds
second round, with your second pick, it's very important to not give them that perfect 8th pick.
Yep.
And this Grimstroke just covers all of their bases so well, and it synergizes with the Beastmaster. They pick up it, which is really nice against all the summons because you have the evasion. But I'm very concerned that this PA is going to not have enough time to get Battle Fury and then farm up to a point where she's actually able to participate in the game. So if they can get another pick setter, whether or not it's potency in the lane or just another way to pressure towers on Viking
turn
GG,
to
I think the
pick.
pace might be too fast for OG, which I don't get to say very often.
PA picked 5 times in European Dota so far. Won once.
OG's turn to
By the way.
ban.
I don't think it's a very good hero.
I figured the Darkseer or Mag was going to come out there for OG. You need something to activate the PA. You cannot just be a naked carry. You need some kind of steroid. The combination, though, once again from Viking, it's not a very, I don't want to say unique. It's not
10 seconds
anything we
remaining.
haven't seen before, but it's very solid.
I think this is probably one of the best drafts that we've seen from them, though, in the way in which they've got to these. You know, like the Shaker, Beastmaster, very strong opening. The Grimstroke is, like Brian said, very good. Also, it's a very good block pick because OG probably would have loved to have a Grimstroke themselves. And then you get this high-paced Ember to punish the kind of static nature that a PA brings to you. I think right now, the clear definition of the draft is OG. They're going to have a strong
Radiant
off lane,
team
a
ban.
safe lane, aligning to a PA timing. Whilst Viking, each hero with one item, there's a
Jeez,
team
turn
timing
to
that's
ban.
coming into play.
And the Darkseer is necessary because we discussed what's Nyx's problem, can't really deal with creeps. This activates Nyx. You suddenly have a purpose as Soxa. You can threaten heroes before you have a ton of levels because the Ion Shell gives you that damage booster. And throughout mid-game team fights, you now have a sustained item. The Vac Wall will effectively give you Beastmaster Aura, which is
10
quite nice.
seconds. Radiant team ban.
And you should have...
Well, it's tough banning out No-Tail's hero. He's play like 9 different heroes over
They've
the last
banned-
4 series.
yeah, their last 5 bans were all No-Tail centered.
Why not?
Maybe
You don't see that very often.
It's like the last guy left or something. A little bit of tower defense enables the PA to go in.
There's like Witch Doctor as well, but I feel like the
10
heroes that counter the
seconds
Beastmaster
remaining.
right now don't provide you that strong lockdown to deal with the likes of the Ember
5
plus
seconds
aggressive that they
remaining.
still have left in the
Yeah.
Viking draft.
Did you go Naga here? Is that weird?
That gives a support.
Yeah.
Against Shaker, Ember seems kind of meh.
Trying to think, like maybe you would support the Void Spirit. We saw Kuro do that, but I'm not certain. I can't. Like 5 of your heroes have been banned. Like
go for a position.
You've got to figure the value is higher on other positions that haven't been targeted.
Big wave clear was the key.
Yeah, Jug is amazing here, isn't it? Like they just need a solid guy to help them group up. I'm just looking at the fact that they need a lot of time on OG, and the sustain is what Viking I think is lacking in order to continue the pressure.
Remaining.
I think Wraith King is still available, a pretty good option. I think a hero that eventually will get True Strike is critical against Never gonna the big timing of the PA right now.
You don't.
But someone who gets over the third one and kills after.
Wraith King into Darkseer though.
Yeah,
seems...
yeah, no, it was a bad one.
This is also a team that likes Lifestealer, by the way. Just want to point it out.
Yeah, that would be. I like that a lot actually. It's not
I think
ideal.
Jug's better, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's not ideal against PA, but you don't get threatened in lane, and it makes their draft scale with survivability quite a bit, which is nice here.
That's how confident they are with their last pick.
Don't even need to be
the
here.
draft.
They're letting random.
He just
like,
a minute left. Like, be right back, guys. Let's random the last one.
He forgot his like OG playbook. So I need to go get it. Just making sure he's looking fresh.
Yeah, well.
I mean, he's also in the quarantine or lockdown haircut, right? So
looking good.
Oh, I styled that for him.
If you're gifted.
I mean, it's a good style. He's long hair.
Locks of Kez.
Hey,
that's Wraith King again.
I really would have rather Jugger or Lifestealer.
I think fundamentally for Viking, their perspective is simply they want a hero to soak up the damage that they did in game 1, bait out the key spells, jump, and suddenly the fight goes well. Counter argument, there's a lot of auras now for this Darkseer to thrive on. Lane pressure, Dark and Nick should have a good time, and that early mana burn is pretty disruptive, pre-shard. Yeah.
What do you got, Brian?
I think Darkseer is one of the best offenders against Wraith King just because you reincarnate on top of the wall, and it's super frustrating because you don't feel any better after you've died the first time. Last game they had a single volley of spells with the Luna ultimate, and once he survived, like once he dies once, he's perfectly fine to fight at full capacity. So I don't love the last pick, but I think Viking GG might be able to just take this one because of their early momentum.
Yep.
I think both teams are in the same kind of department where whoever gets that early lead should be able to keep that ball rolling and snowballing. They keep the like global presence effect, and then the other team has the Ember, the Beast Monster, that catch.
Wait, you said Viking or OG?
I said Viking.
Yeah.
Okay, because I just disagree with the premise. I think OG will have the early momentum. If it was any other team, maybe I'd question it a bit. But this is what I want to see Kuro draft for his squad board. Just straight up aggression, cooldown reduction. They're gonna run at people and be on map 24/7.
I wanna channel the cap analysis here too, though, for a second. Wraith King good, Shaker good, both on the same team, T.
That is doubling down on good, and 2 goods does make a good even better
but
good.
You don't want to be too good.
Exactly, and if you're too good, you can become bad because of your cockiness and arrogance. And I think I like the idea of what OG has if they execute better. I think after game 1 they did learn how to execute a lot better, so OG will have this second game.
All right. Well, I wouldn't mind a game 3 of this series because it's a very fun one to watch, and this one will surely be as well, especially with listening to Maxime Purge.
All right, Purge. Well, they're doubting the Wraith King just a little bit, it sounds like, just because of the fact that there's a Darkseer. But I have to say, Shad the Chad, that Wraith King looks so good in number 1. Do you think it's back to what worked?
Yeah, I think it's just like one of those heroes at the end of the draft where after you've eliminated a lot of the options, like it still hits a lot of bases. It's still pretty darn safe in the lane. It still has great power spikes to team fights. It can gank, like it just covers so many bases, and I think it's generally just safe to pick it. Like I definitely have more doubts about PA as a hero. She's not consistently effective. She can have some issues. Obviously, it's great with ion shells. This pressure, and OG's definitely going to be able to tempt quite well here.
Oh, that's a 5-man stroke of fate right there. Slow everybody down just a little bit. I guess it didn't quite land over on top. Looked pretty close, but 4 is going to take a little bit of harass here. Nice hand over onto the chat, but they got up with the Ginger with another stroke of fate. Now Saksa, he's totally just separated from the rest of the team, so he is going to be the first blood. Aramis happily take that. Can they get themselves anything? The question is, get a nice back? Well, drag everybody back into that illuminate. Look, the Aramis will go down. And it feels like now Viking just are pushed out of their own side here. Keizu got that illuminate. Mid one thinks about it briefly, but I mean, on the bright side for Viking, they're very close to their fountain, so they can go and heal up again, but they are going to lose out on some very nice room.
Yeah, that's what's kind of cool about this. It looks pretty weird for OG to be that aggressive necessarily, especially like skilling vacuum at level 1 to fight, but it's 100 damage. It's a lot, certainly. It helped them get their illuminate off, and now, like you said, they force them in their base. 4 bounties for the OG side. I think that's going to give a slight advantage. All said and done.
Except
I don't know how good vacuum's going to work out, but
yeah, that's a little bit of an oof. But you know, it's Seb. This is a world-class offlaner here. I'm sure it'll all work out.
I mean, Iron Shell's not that incredible anyways, especially against Grimstrip. Counteract this a bit, so I don't think they'll get a crucial range to be blasted with it.
Possible. We have seen this matchup a million times. The two Spirit Brothers in the mid lane. I think a lot of it does come down. You know, I know Kyle gets very cranky about it, talking about the 4-minute runes to them. But I think we'll see, you know, one of those brothers possibly start to take off a little bit more.
Yeah, we've barely seen Ember far in the DPC because of the fact that they're just weaker generally. But he like Void Spirit, but hey, having roots against Voice can be really effective. It's a potentially.
Trading back and forth up here on the top lane between Aramis and No-Tail. Or, of course, applying the slow does make it a little bit difficult here. But I think we'll see probably a better game this time around for Keizu. Yeah, no, this is his Beastmaster. He does quite well with this hero, and it's also just really in the meta. Do you think we're going to see a rush, though, is the question? Is he going to go for that Necro buff right off the bat?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely have to right now, in my opinion. The other builds are just not as effective. They don't let you pressure towers and farm as safely as other itemization. Absolutely will.
But is it going to be for the boots like we saw one of the CIS teams?
Maybe. He might be able to get away with it. Yeah, actually, call my shift out of the lane. Because, like, it doesn't represent that much kill threat in the lane compared to other carries, so it certainly could be great last year to hit both Keizu and the boar, and this is a freshly summoned.
Go throw the fissure out over on No-Tail. Return to the harass. And to see all of those voice lines coming out here from Seb. But Keizu has to be very careful because mid one is chonking away on him.
Doing a good job hitting him. Gotta hit him. Lowers HP, force him to back up occasionally. This mid one slightly more farm as a result. 9 last hits. There's 11 on the Wraith. Void Spirit's owning mid though. Holy crap. Tops in 15 instead of versus 4-0 on Boom. What is happening?
He is getting dumpstered, is what I believe we call that.
It makes sense, like Void Spirit has guaranteed hits with Resonant Pulse. Ember Spirit has to rely on right clicks or Flame Guard, so he's just a bad match. Tops is just amazing.
Could not both, you know? Final couple hits though coming in here. Hot over onto Seb. He does go down. That's a beautiful combo, of course. When you have Inkswell and you have any other stun, but Oxo landing a nice impale is going to be able to find his tower.
A little tough sometimes for Darkseer just in all the harass.
Boom. Get back in here. A lot of harass. Not quite enough of the bottle just yet.
The next label play.
So if he lands Aether Remnant and Resonant Pulse, he breaks his Flame Guard. Pressured.
No-Tail. Just nuke down these creeps over here and the boar.
Good job pressuring. Force him to buy a lot more regen. In fact, he's got a Tango and a Salve coming. So he just can't stabilize otherwise. So far, No-Tail doing a great job. This last pick huddle absolutely perfect.
All right, we got the 4-minute runes coming up. You can see the Viking getting into position, trying to ensure that they can secure these runes. Doesn't get anything to elevate him any further. He is making his way towards the bottom, so look like he's going to get lucky. Refill the bottle, and could be worse, right? He could get like double damage and just, you know, run off the lane to make more problems.
But basically, no matter what he gets there, I think he's happy. Huge amount of regen, stabilize your lane, and keep the level advantage. See, I'll slide south. It's ready to go. Got a lot of damage over.
fairly quiet among the lanes. You can see the Prime trading back and forth, but aggressive for now.
Thompson is so much like in damage over. In addition to his skill being more useful, this is why is the level or a big class. 3 and 16. I haven't seen like a one-sided matchup like this in a long time. It does not happen.
This is just a super meta pick. Ooh, drop back over here on Boom.
That's now. Oh my god. Dude, I gotta go back and watch this
Radiant's middle
like
tower
slowly
is under
because
attack.
this is just
Beautiful.
nailed it with every Aether Remnant. He was in his mind, dude. Get out of his head.
Get out of his lane is what he's pretty much yelling here. Okay, so realizing he's got to teleport out. Here we go. Here's your replay. Take a look at this purge. Break it down.
Level advantage, illusions to tank things. The creep dies as he's about to go over to 6 here. He's level 6, but he's level 4 Ember. Ember can here, and his abilities on the lunge. Absolutely. Thompson's like, oh, this happens all the time. No big deal. Me getting kills. Time to win.
Chad, he's taking a lot of damage here. Looks like Toxa, with the help of the Dark Seer, will find themselves a kill. You can tell Seb means business now. We've got all the voice lines coming out. Keep up morale, and also, you know, put a little of that mental damage down.
It's a little rough the first wave or two, but now they've got better levels. The double iron shell with them.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Lots of reach. Look a little bit iffy here for Raking. He's trying to figure out where he wants to teleport. No, he's got his courier coming. Back to bot lane, phase boots is up, so getting away from Iron Shell or other danger.
Are scanning.
But the big difference maker, Voicebird's got a DD, by the way. This is really bad for Boom. He gets vision.
Oh, he's got the vision, he's got the remnants, he's got the damage. Boom is just trying to run away from his older brother here, and he's gonna get bullied down.
Triple null, extra mana regen, extra spell amp. And the DD, how do you even get away from this? Is this why people don't pick Ember? I'm not sure, guys, but man, Thompson is just making this game look like it's going to be. Now he's going to be able to use his get rotations. See if he can find the Earthshaker. It's a super easy kill if he spots them. Ward's going to spot the rotation. Thompson into the top lane. Kezu now basically just can't go in his lane. He does put a ward down though. I don't know if that was spotted or not by the Earthshaker ward. Maybe that gets denied later. Sentry ready on Earthshaker.
Bottom lane. Shad has Inkswell on him. He's barely gonna make it out alive here.
Dire's middle
That
tower
Dark
is
Seer
under
match.
attack.
Indeed.
Kyle was worried about.
Feels like Thompson's
doesn't
just
have
playing with
sustain.
Boom a little bit here in the mid lane.
He is, and he definitely
Radiant's
can. But with
bottom tower is under attack.
Boom should be able to get out of danger. He's got enough mana. Now pressure bottom again.
Does my line
Well, they realized that Shad had to go walk all the way home, and they saw the opportunity to make a play on the Grimstroke. So Celery goes down, and it's good timing because it's party.
Radiant's bottom
Yep.
tower is under attack.
Raking has lane sustain, but not against this amount of damage. Like 2 Iron Shells on 2 melee heroes, they can vacuum back. So simple. And the other big problem is that Grimstroke is not a good support for stopping this. If you have some kind of like AoE stun, stop them from chasing. But Grimstroke doesn't really slow it down fast enough. It does not solve this problem.
Trying to make moves here over on Thompson. Silence off. Seb is nearby though. Tip forward here from Boom. Seb will be able to go get the bottle up. Got the Inkswell. They're trying to go and proc it. Just goes down too fast. Celery next to fall. Seb gets himself a double kill.
Thompson accidentally farming a fairy trinket as well, so yeah. Great little engagement with the vacuum. Great rotation from Darkseer, and he was the one that got the Mono Rune too, or Arcane Rune, sorry. So refills his bottle. Just perfect circle. 4K advantage now at 8 minutes in. I'm scared to look at the net worth, but yeah, Thompson has more than twice as much net worth as his mid. It's bad right now.
Yeah, all 3 of the cores actually on the side of OG, sitting top of the net worth. Boom making a rotation bottom, but isn't going to find anything as Aramis was left alone top, so Midwood will happily take that kill. And Ember is just having difficulty. We've got the Spike Carapace, and Thompson is just right here again, bullying Boom. Seb will get the kill this time around, and they're not even done because he walks right into the Aether Remnant. And this is not looking good. He's trying to man fight. He is only level 5. He is going to go down. Seb gets yet another kill. Kezu's down in the bottom lane, but what are you going to do? You're just going to die. Followed up, it's a good fissure from Aramis, but it doesn't protect Kezu. They're just eating one by one by one. Seb is just getting all of these kills. Aramis trying to hide. Look, No Tail's even joined the fight down here. He says, hey guys, we're having a party? I'd love to be a part.
Damage is so high. The Aether Remnant stunning for 1.8 seconds. These guys, it's a level 5 Wraith King. How can you stand up to this level 10 Void Spirit gank? It is so difficult, especially with all the spell MPS. Just, they're not even letting Wraith King get 6. He's going to pick it up barely at the top lane. I forgot that there's a PA in this game. He's doing fine. Not incredible.
Radiant's
1 kill fit.
tower
Okay, he's
has
doing a little bit above average, but he's going to have a Battle Fury. He's certainly going to outfarm Shed this game, and it's looking good for constant pressure on the map.
That's He's gonna run right into Soxa, has the Impale. Illuminate comes out, he's got the Inkswell on him, but
Radiant's
drops
bottom
by
tower
Carapace.
is under attack.
The runes are up though. Some bottling up, boom.
Dire's middle tower is under
the
attack.
regen. Zips on through. Has nothing to do
Check
with
that
the remnant. Okay. Nicely placed.
He's so pressured. He doesn't even have a full Wraith Band. He's got almost a Wraith Band, a bottle, and a boost. That's all he's got, his levels. And he's trying to make stuff happen, but he got dumpstered so hard mid, he doesn't have enough levels to do this. He has to like flame guard and stand next to people until they die. That's all he's got.
Chad turns back around, trying to man fight as Boom jumps back in again. That is going to be the reincarnation popping off here. Boom trying to get as much damage down. Does manage to land the Inkswell in the middle of them, but I'm not sure they can really get here and fight, although Aram is making his own rotation. Can they turn this around? Thompson taking a lot of damage. It's going to be just fine. They go and they drop the wall. They've got to sidestep a little bit. That Aether Remnant coming back in. They direct that over into that illusion wall. Barely make it out, though they illuminate at the last second. We'll be able to claim Chad.
What a great force there. OG pulling the last hero in with the ulti from Keep to the Light. They had Mech as well to keep Pops in the line. They put all the pressure on him, but he's just so far ahead. Now with the point booster as well.
Radiant
Not
structures
leaving.
are fortified.
You don't have
Dire's
to.
middle
You just
tower
stand
is
where their
under
opponents
attack.
are. Can't fight them because they have a
Radiant's top
stupidly high
tower
net worth
is under
advantage.
attack.
9,000 net worth. That's like the net worth of the top 3 farmed heroes on Viking. That's how much gold they have over them right now.
Dire's
Not to mention
structures
levels.
are fortified.
So they're going to take these easy towers. They've got the catapult here. They might as well.
This is
Radiant's top
a
tower
bigger,
is
meaner,
under attack.
faster OG
Radiant's
here.
top tower has fallen.
Taking over the map.
Bad when you lose all 3 lanes. This is what happens. The top world teams, they're not going to drop matches like they messed. I mean, OG messed up a little bit last game, but this is like completely different. Mid one is just farming the enemy tri-camp. That means Wraith King can't be there. Wraith King's going to go bottom potentially or in his jungle, but he will be pressured everywhere he goes. And as long as OG doesn't die while they do this, pressure continues, and they're just going to start taking towers on top of their full farm.
Poor Aramis is just taking so much damage from the Ion Shield and
Radiant's middle tower
Benedict's.
is
Like,
under attack.
The next label plane.
that's going to be so annoying.
Dire are scanning.
All right, well, pressure down on the mid
Radiant's
tower.
middle tower
Thompson
is
and
under
Seb are
attack.
both over there. They just don't have any control over any of their land. See on the side of Viking.
Remember, praying that he could finish his Wraith Man. He's almost there.
Chad, they have really nice wards. This is a deck.
Radiant's middle
Plain
tower
and
is
simple.
under attack.
Oh, he's only got 1,000 HP, and his ulti comes up every 3 minutes. That's too slow.
All right, here's the question. Can they kill No Tail? Can they get to survive? No, because Seb's already here. Drops the wall over. They dart right back in, dragging him back. Kiz is going to go down. Boom is left to just fend for himself, and he cannot. He goes down as well. And look at Saxa. He's a fast little bug here. He's got the spike carapace. He's hoping Aramis might try to throw something out, but
Radiant's middle tower
does not go
has
for
fallen.
it. Mid one takes the
Radiant's
tower.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, near 800 gold away from Battle Fury. He's participating in the fight. They're constantly pressuring here. Fox is using Ion Shells to help him farm. They've got Greaves finished, so 3 armor to all of his allies. Insanely powerful here, not to mention the ability to heal himself and others. Their armor is going to jump massively when they get low. Like, how do you fight into this right now with this advantage?
Question that Viking is asking themselves because they've got Chad up forward. Considering going in, step forward here, coming out from tops and the drag right back. This Wraith King cannot afford to go down. The ward does get used though. Can they finally find this kill? Yes, they take down Seb. That is a wicked 6 streak taken out.
So lots of damage, right clicks, and the Beast Aura. So 500 gold, a huge boon. It's going to get him very close to Armlet. So it's survivability better. The biggest thing he's missing is the levels. He's only hit level 8 on Wraith King. So needs levels to skirmish at all.
Well, they're getting a little bit of their jungle back, so that's a bit of breathing room here for Viking. Definitely feeling extremely pressured. 12k net worth lead over the side of OG. Only 14. Maybe they can make a play on Saxa?
Possibly, he can go.
Oh, the
Dust
counter
ready.
play, though. All right, they make something immediately, though. They're going to use Spike here, but they drop the wall. Seb is here. They'll be able to go hold them together using the Grim Struggle, but it doesn't matter. Chase is on. Boom. Tries to run away. Thompson drags him right back in with the Aether Remnant. There's just a lockout, too much damage. The Echo Slam comes out from Aramis, but where's your follow-up? Where's your team? This is looking like an Earthshaker and Shad. Oh, God. Oh, there's no one left. There's no survivors. All alone. That is going to be his first death, and I think the second death is going to be just as painful here, Purge, as no one can answer his cries for help.
Oh my god. That fight, the Echo Slam, I think hit just about nothing. Just a bunch of illusions there. And they dealt the split. Nobody takes damage. Nyx played the fight well. Got a roar coming. Maybe a Darkseer kill again. He's got Greaves though. It's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. He is very, very slow, but here it is. The immediate response. They turn back around. Dobson says, stop picking on my Darkseer. The body block coming out now from Seb. Boom, will join in though, so they find the kill onto Seb. Looks like they're probably going to end up losing Kazu. Boom here, trying to man fight. It's very difficult. Doesn't manage to go sidestep. Celery thinking about going back in again, is bottling up, getting their mana back together. It looks like Viking thinks a little bit better of it here, although they do still see Saxa.
Are scanning.
Careful though, because there's plenty of other OG heroes nearby, but looks like they figure Saxa must be safe on the tower. For now. So moved up that. Now manages to land the Inkswell. Silence gets tossed out. Yes, bodies are coming, but there is no help for Saxa.
Really nicely done by Ember. Sleight of Fist dodged the Spike Carapace, which helps secure that kill there. So it gives them the small moment of pressure release, but the danger items out. Ags on Void Spirit.
We talk about how fast that item is on him now?
Very fast, yeah.
7 minutes.
Radiant's bottom tower
The average
has
dispatch?
fallen.
Also, mid one just took the tower by himself while finished battle here. He's got half a Deso finish too. Yeah, things are looking bad for Viking. All right, we got some raw heroes, but now that the Deso's out, good luck.
Radiant
We're
are
gonna try to
scanning.
kill him though. Kazu's moving around. He's gonna roar in 5 seconds. Break the plurals, and if he doesn't attack, they don't even know where he is anymore. Just like he's gonna escape this.
And one's playing very carefully, realizing that they don't have any vision on them on the map, so he's just gonna walk away.
No Necro 3 yet, so this ward that he had in the area also the ward appears to be able to retain vision. They're gonna go fight though.
Yeah, they are. Thompson, his eyes up here on Shad. They'll turn their attention instead over to the Grim Stroke and be happy that they can get that possibly as they go right over onto Aramis as well. So it's looking both of these supports are gonna get cleaned up by the side.
So sick to have this Coddle plus Void Spirit combo when he has Ags. He's gonna lower the cooldown of Resonant Pulse, make it up more often. More silences, more
Radiant's
nukes,
middle
more
tower
raw
is under
shields for
attack.
Void Spirit. Not something we see super commonly, but when Void Spirit's this far ahead, he's ready to go constantly. And how can Viking even approach their towers? They can't get close because they know Thompson's gonna jump in on them.
Thompson's just having such a good game. There's no reason why he can't just run at them. Shad, every time he shows on the map, he's just immediately hunted. And a 10k net worth right now on the Spans.
Like, just take the out of the game, it's a 4v5, like then Viking has a win. Right now, with him just not making mistakes and dying, while still farming at a super high speed, it looks good. And once he finishes Deso, the minus armor is going to be insane, because he's already got Orb of Corrosion as well. So it's not just a Deso, it's Deso and Orb of Corrosion, minus 10 armor against all these enemy heroes.
Damage.
And a double damage always helps.
It's good.
All right, well, you can see some collapsing into the capital area here on the side of the Radiant. They'll be able to go and hunt down some of Kazu's troops over here on the side. The Nugget does get picked up here by the Earthshaker. It might be necessary because he does have the reincarnation back up, but they step over immediately to get the silence off onto Kazu, so there's not going to be a roar available. Thompson can just kill the roar, because that Shad going up. And they find him, and the flip goes off. They take down Thompson, and they get a couple of the boot on top of it as mid one finally goes down.
Oh, the Swell plus the Echo Slam was way too powerful. It looked kind of good. He really wanted to finish off Shad, but Shad's armor really high with Armlet. The Armlet took a little last second as well. Just a little bit of a middle. If they lose this game, this is certainly the moment I'm thinking of later on. But we still have a massive, massive net worth lead. I think PA's Deso's finish, it wasn't there in that fight. If it was, I'm sure the the race can go down a little quicker.
Don't do BSJ's job for him, Purge. Come on, he's got to go and look at these things and bring them up himself.
Lots of stuff to look at. I mean, you could do 8 Weatherman segments just about the mid lane match.
Right, boom. No tail. He's going in, but there is, of course, 6 assassins standing nearby. So they'll off. They'll be patient.
Just got pipe on dark here. Another great item pickup. That more cover against the first damage. Doing a good job on the natural unit. They know they just need to control this Tricam. Perfect play from OG. They're the stronger heroes. They invade it, they ward, they de-ward, and it's going to make it much harder for Viking to fight. If they do want to engage, or if they want to push out a wave, they have to go really far to get to the next place if their Tricam doesn't. Just like what Embers do right now. Jumps away from the top lane, now it's moving all the way around to a different place on the map to make things efficient.
Got the second cell on the map by taking down the courier. Everyone just runs it. But they haven't been able to finally get the final hit off, as they are doing Roche, though, on the side of OG. So Celery is making some space by doing this, but of course, PA doesn't really need that much help. Illuminate coming through. Man, they are really needing to do a lot to get the kill on this guy, but they eventually find it. And over in the pit, mid-1, almost finished with Roche. There it is, A just picked up. That Hawk's a little bit late.
Now in a much better position. Rare item pickup for PA. Picks up the Nether Shawl, but it actually covers him pretty well for this middle part of the game where he doesn't have BKB yet. Ooh, the damage is high.
Boom. Yeah, he's got to hightail it out of there.
Very close to getting a kill there if he gets a 1 crit at the end. Ends up staying alive. Once he gets BKB, he'll probably drop another
Radiant's
triple, I
middle tower
expect,
is under attack.
how they're going for that, see if they can find him.
No, he knows. He knows. They sent a Hawk over right at the same time that they dragged over Soxa. So if you see a Keeper of the Light charging at you, he's not. Generally.
Oh, I know. Find a clearance.
It's out of my life.
Well, there was a Celery there. Not anymore. Boom now is right away from mid-1.
Very important to the rest of the area. Yeah.
And
Late mail on Courier, I did not see. Alright, very
Radiant's middle tower
early
is under
but
attack.
think of what it does. You can use it to remove steering chains. You can use it to reflect stun or roar. So I think that's what they're going for. When they actually do start hitting buildings, they know they have map control. Now they're aiming for like what items are going to help us like end this game. It's certainly going to be items that give them fight advantage, such as pipe. Your items that are just going to make their overall main advantage be easy. But they also need to be able to protect whoever the person that's hitting the tower is. You can't just rely on DKP. So noticing the PA is going to make things a lot simpler when they do go high ground seed.
well, the middle tower is go down here. As
Radiant's
you can see that
middle
Viking
tower
trying to do a little bit of farming over here in the jungle. These creeps are going to run into Thompson though, so they know that they're on their way.
Radiant's middle tower is under
They
attack.
almost killed a observer.
No, he's going to get stunned up, and one more hit to do the trick. Good one's just playing with this food here.
Wasn't gonna roar him, so there's like no chance he gets away there. If he roars, then they go high ground, and it's not a. But all right, time to go high ground anyways.
Yeah.
Fuel pressure, cuts the bomb wave
Radiant's
nicely,
middle tower is
and
under attack.
And pops the
Radiant
double damage as well, so
structures are fortified.
be able to chomp through these buildings quite nicely.
Swarm's still ready. Spell that steering chains into Ghost Force.
There it is. They're holding it though. Fissure coming out again. They have the Aegis on mid
Radiant's
one.
middle tower is under attack.
Face is sidestep away.
Radiant's
so
middle
again,
tower has fallen.
one he just doesn't seem concerned about. He has that double
Dire's
teleporting
bottom tower is
out
under
here.
attack.
So, of course, they have a Keeper of a Light, so he's joined it back immediately. They smoke up another fish coming out. Roebuck shot very, very far forward here. That will burn down these, burst down the necro. Not quite. How do you deal with a mid-1?
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Hard with Aegis and then backing up. I love the Smokies.
Radiant's
They
middle
held on with the
barracks
sword the
are
whole
under
time,
attack.
waiting for the Beastmaster to be up, and when things looked a little bit iffy, then they
Radiant's
popped the
middle
lowest.
barracks
And now PA will disengage. Very safe
Radiant's
pushing
top
here.
tower is under attack.
Everybody's back, don't get echo slammed. Let your high damage to smoke. He used Blur
Celery
as well.
Got the dagger. Celery, I'm sure, is a bit nervous at that. So much damage.
Smart. Usually when you disengage like that after push, you
Radiant's
end up
top
spreading out
tower
on the
is under
map.
attack.
Them smoking on the Viking side could have led to them getting a kill on an important hero. So really nice that he used that presence to keep the tempo up by breaking this one smoke. And now they could keep pressuring without having to worry for
Radiant's
this.
top tower is under attack.
Alright, well, all eyes now over on Viking. Him is hiding over in the corner. Box.
Radiant's
Spin
top
around.
tower has fallen.
Tower goes down though. That's all about the high ground here.
What surge is this?
And even then, it's still very difficult. Aramis runs directly into Seb. Out of fish. We do have a BKB picked up now for the Ember Spear. Things a little bit, but again, there's so much damage coming out from this PA.
The Dark's back. I just pulling back in the mid lane. Ready to go high ground.
Good one, jumping over on Shad. Follow up immediately from Boom and a Fissure. Got a lot of CC coming out from the side of Vikings. They go for another Shad very far forward in the front. Hezu trying to find the angle. Difficult. Does not have a blink. The Aegis does get reclaimed.
One changing his item, his ideas about his items a little bit. He's thinking about going X, now changing up and go S and Y, which is pretty solid when you have this much advantage. You're in a good place. And having S and Y is just going to give him the status resistance, more right speed, movement speed will be great, and also one like they tend to have so a lifesteal amplification. Sorry, regular lifesteal amplification. And someone's working on a Vlad's, I'm guessing. Nothing yet. But maybe at some point. He'll get lifesteal eventually.
Damage rune is available in the bottom part of the river. You can see that Shad would love to move
Radiant
that courier
are
over.
scanning.
He'd love to go and buy himself the relic. Pretty difficult. Even use the scan. It's just camped out over there. Just look at the way he's camping. I love the fact how much time just like probably going to want to make moves. Creep wave that far forward. All right, yeah, they see it. No tail? Can he get there fast enough? No, not quite. Tried though. Oh, Saksa though. Maybe he'll intercept it.
Oh,
This way.
Thompson as well. He just
Wanted so bad. They don't have the vision though.
Dire's courier
not
has
able.
been
Did they
killed.
use? They used. Okay, I thought that was a. I thought they were trying to use a bait courier there. Courier goes in.
bring it for vision, I think. I mean, either way, this is still just Radiance. Radiance is good on Wraith King by all means, and it's going to give some chance to PA when the fight actually does happen, but that's them trying to stabilize and go 28k net worth advantage right now. That's hard to come. During moments.
I mean, Thompson set them up beautifully this game. He did so well in the mid lane. Like he's gonna try to make a play here on Shad. So much damage all at once.
It's forcing reactions. It's hard to kill Void Spirit with the chains that they've got. They've grabbed.
Moving. Needs to be careful as mid one immediately slices up Celery. Tezu turns around. That is the BKB that just got used on mid one as well, so we'll waste a little bit of the time. One of the Necro creeps will fall. And there's one of the backhand liner. Shad's is trying to man fight here. With Seb, does have Boom nearby. Seb trying to run away here. They still have the illusions as the follow-up is here. This gets split by mid one. Saksa hunting has though quite grabbed arms though.
Top bottle back. Oh. Now they're gonna go high ground with 30 seconds on.
The next label plays. The next label
Gotta be a little careful.
Yeah, but they have to be able to have the follow-up here. Fisher gets tossed out. Sliding.
So much HP on it.
Radiant's top tower is fallen.
Toss out. Look forward here over on Boom. Tezu, the draw back in again though. Silence is gonna come out with the double hold with coming out from Grimstroke, but it doesn't seem to matter at all.
It's a rough one to lose. They could have got a double roar. They just waited a bit, but it's so hard. And Ember Spirit's
Radiant's
trying to
top
slow this
barracks
down, but
has fallen.
gets disabled by the Remnant. There's always
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
BKB. 2 are down now. OG's not going to let up.
Don't need to let up. Look at them.
Radiant's bottom tower
Mid one
is under attack.
People in half. This all takes 2 or 3 minutes or more on the side here of Viking. Another crit are coming out. They don't have the reincarnate for another 30. Be careful here. Sox is looking for the impale.
80% evasion.
Radiant
How can you get into him?
I don't know. That is the question that Viking is asking themselves right now. They want to. Celery does get dragged in, and mid one he jumps in. They get killed. They do have the work. Have a wrap. Sun's getting set. They don't have damage. Just shadows. GG. This
Radiant's bottom tower is under
just
attack.
play. Then they're able to tempo.
Absolute stomp by OG compared to the first game. Mid one having a just one superior performance than his previous match, but man, it was basically just his team gave him all the space in the world, and then he did a very good job in the mid to late game. He had a lot more tools to deal with what his enemies were throwing at him, certainly, but like shutting.
5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Mix assassin.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Game 3 of OG versus Viking coming your way. Can Viking bounce back like they did in the series versus Nigma that they played, or will OG crush the opposition another time like they did in their series against Team Nigma? We're gonna find out. We are in the draft. Brian on the big screen, of course, helping us dissect this draft. Still joined by Kyle, T-Governor, and we have a little bit of a different opening this time around because Shaker ignored for now.
For now.
Yeah, big fan of this. Big fan of this. I simply think that a lot of these teams, when they play up against OG, they don't try and diversify their openings, and then they get hit with the issue of, oh, wait, they already understand the Shaker, for example. And now in this scenario, OG, they pick up the Nyx. Viking go for the counter to Nyx with the Shaman. You have that Hex to deal carapace, you then can shackle them after. You can fortify your positions really well. So I like that. They go for the Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
Very good against Shaman. Like, textbook kind of openings now coming from these teams.
I love the way that OG responds differently to a different response here. So last game, the Earthshaker is dealt with by having a mid laner that's up in your face early on, setting the tempo, because Earthshaker doesn't like necessarily responding in the early to mid game. He wants to be farming up that Blink Dagger. In this case, they have the Shadow Shaman, who doesn't want summon and people to wrap around him. That's what he doesn't want, and Nature's Prophet's just perfect against him. So far, I think OG's have been great, and especially this third slot the last 2 games. And Viking GG, I do believe Shadow Shaman has better synergy with Beastmaster than Earthshaker does.
Yep.
So maybe it'll work a bit better for them here.
I was going to make that same point. That's the trouble with Earthshaker. We've discussed this in the past, and why Earthshaker DP is such a nice opener. You typically want this hero that can play around the Fissure and wants to just kind of chill in the lane by himself at a point. Beastmaster isn't really offered much by Earthshaker in terms of the aggression you can output. So if he ever leaves as well, this is a PA combo. Like, they're actually going to pressure KZ real hard. So this allows you to actually be aggressive and truly dual lane, which is what Beastmaster prefers.
I guess for Viking, they're going to have to show respect to, for example, Troll Warlord as well. They're already banning up PA. These carries that independently can deal with what a Beastmaster brings. So there's the Troll ban. Because if this Furion is going to be in that 5 role, he alone can deal with Shaman in that 1v1, and then it forces the carry to be in a 1v1 with the Beastmaster. I wouldn't be surprised, like Gyrocopter as well, for an example. We've seen this in some previous different regions, but the flat cannon build nowadays is an answer.
Flat is not a thing. You start with 2 charges. 2 flat.
Yeah, level 1,
it's
but
only
level 2 or 3.
Cooldown.
Level 2 or level 3, 18-second cooldown. It goes bam, 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 and you kill everything.
Well,
Thank you very much, Carl.
I mean, he made a very solid point with the clapping.
You made a loud point. Just because you're the loudest doesn't mean you're the most right.
I learned from the best, Carl. Yeah,
it worked for Brian. All right, we got the Lycan band out as well. And what can we read from OG's bands? Because we talked about Vikings bands and what they're going to remove.
They're scared of the overwhelming pressure. Of course, we've seen Hycups Esports run the strategy. I think we saw Team Unique run the same strategy. It's the Beastmaster Shaman plus any active score, and this is where these are the big key 3.
I think in the first game, OG realized that it's really annoying to have to play Nature's Prophet into cores you don't want to TP onto. DK is a good example. Death Prophet's another good example. Lycan is kind of running at you, doesn't really care about what you're doing on the map. So conceptually, these heroes not only synergize with Beastmaster really well, but they make it difficult for Prophet to play the way he wants to.
I guess the only weakness I see from this in Viking is all their pressure comes from Beastmaster having a good lane and supports being able to play behind him. These supports don't actively look to go mid that comfortably unless there's a big initiating mid lane. And that's something that OG might be able to pressure, especially with that Fury and TP into mid and that kind of overwhelming global presence right now.
The concern as well is these two supports just don't really do anything to Furion. And Nyx is also even activated. Grimstroke's Nuke and Shield proc are very easy to carapace.
The key thing though from Viking is if they get out of the laning phase, they can fortify a position really well with the Necro 3. These supports are very good when they reacting to the engagement. When they're initiating, it can be awkward running into high ground areas. They already own these areas. This is why Nyx is so weak into Shaman. It's about kind of how you take the game. There we go, boys. I called it. Thank you very much.
I said it the first game. I'll take the.
No, thank you, Brian.
I'm on the same page.
My man, Brian. It's the bam, 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 bam. Am I right?
I do want to point out that when OG played Gyrocopter last in this Western European DPC, they lost.
Yep.
It didn't go.
Yeah, exactly.
A hero is risky, especially against a BKB piercing roar, and enemy has last pick. So a team willing to pick Lifesteal or something I really wish they had done in the previous game. And it's something you got to be a little concerned about here because he certainly eats Gyrocopter alive.
I will say though, the important thing about the Gyro to Beast matchup is simply the trees being available for the Beastmaster to utilize. When you have your boar and there's Necro and the summons, you need to be able to hide them during flak, especially in the first 4 or 5 minutes of laning phase. And I think if OG maybe puts his Fury in a 5 position, we'll be seeing this and use Nature's Call to be able to take away that vision advantage from the trees, and then the flak has all this optimization.
No, I would agree. It's a nice adaptation.
If it is,
it still could be offlane though, because Nyx is a relatively weak 4.
Ember Spirit.
Oh, run it back, reverse it.
Oh, damn.
Is this just a slap in the face?
This is such a
I think it kind of is.
This is. If Void Spirit at any point dies in the laning phase, watch OG 5-man tip. You know, the tips games will be insane.
The tips games is next level here for sure. This is, I mean, can only imagine that this will be mid matchup. Is there any chance it won't be, just to cover our bases?
I don't.
This is most likely
matchup.
Yeah.
This is a show of dominance right here. This is
unless it's some like mid.
I would be intimidated.
I want this to be the mid matchup for sure.
I think in my entire casting career, I've only seen once or twice where 2 mid lane players have swapped heroes, and the guys and the same players convincingly won both times. So this is something that Thompson, I think he knows that this is getting in the head of Boom.
Oh. I hope for just the observing of the game, it has to be just mid lane the entire time. This just is a pure grub match. There's no side lanes occurring.
I'm sure Scriff and JJ are listening
if you
to
are,
us.
Thank you.
And they will not stray from the path.
It's gonna be bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
We already got that.
We got the bam, bam, bam. Yeah. You maybe show like a respect second or two. This is the side lane setup, but then we want it locked in on mid.
You can always, if you want to show the rest of the lane, you can always have that second cap.
The off screen, yes.
Okay,
yeah. The off screen for side lane and just focus it up on mid. Up to 5 minutes, then. Maybe, true.
The question becomes, what are you picking for Seb? It's a little wild, haven't seen this very often, but something like a Tide could be effective. However, there's a Nyx in the game. So with Darkseer's gone too, there aren't many great laners with the Nyx. Prophet would be ideal, but to your point, T, Prophet Gyro down bottom would be a solid lane. You don't necessarily want to last pick No Tails Hero, although CM is available, which would be quite nice. The Enigma also, that would have been a sick pick to kill the boars immediately, secure lane. That might have been their choice. I think Viking with Jug and Ursa now gone are picking Lifesteal 100%.
How about the Wraith King?
God, I hope not.
No.
I mean,
you just never pick like Legion or a Baden here. That's just not OG.
They might have Baden. A Baden sounds pretty cool, but
5 seconds remaining.
The dual core combo is one of my favorites. I think popularized initially by CDEC during TI5, and then later by Wings. Ember Gyro, like the chains, the flak, you get tons of vision. The damage and AoE presence is kind of nuts, and then add on to that the Wrath of Nature, which is now buffed beyond belief.
They're taking their time.
I want somebody that buys items for the Gyro though. So if they leave the Nature's Prophet as a 5, that is the nice part about it. We've seen Nature Prophet 5s go literally anything. I think like the Vlads, the ACs, if he can, the Solar Crest, those type of items make Gyro just such a more potent hero because Gyro's job in game is to stand still, pushing flag. And there we go. That's good. I like it. It's just a hero that's going to buy items for this Gyro.
Yeah,
and enable him to stand his ground.
And the damage output for Vikings is super low right now.
I think the key thing here is OG now has this reset potential, where obviously Ember can always be in the fight, TP back, Remnant back in. Underlord can always dictate the fight as well. And for Viking, their fight is either in or they're out. And if you can abuse that with this, the Underlord or even just the Ember Spirit alone, it's very hard for Viking. And I think this Fury and Gyro lane, this Beastmaster Shaman should not be able to achieve anything. I've seen this before, and it's so hard for them to have entry to lane when you have no trees to play behind. The flak's killing everything. I really like what OG has.
And I can't see any pick other than Lifestealer, which I believe under the circumstances OG is good. They just saw it, like it feels like forever ago, but that was the last series Viking played. They won a couple games with it. It's a perfect matchup in concept. But what?
That's not the last series. The last series that Viking played was versus High Coast.
I forgot.
They did not.
That's why it does feel like a long time ago.
Lifestealer. Yeah, they picked it in their series versus.
Which is the only series so far they've won.
This is also correct. They are 1-3 comparatively to OG, who is 3-1. By the way, for people that were not aware.
So it's not just comfort. It's like what else is good here? Like you need a game, you need damage. You need something that would scale with the beast, like perhaps a Dusa, but I don't like that because OG is going to play with tempo. You need this hero that buys cheaper items and is online fast. You know, Armlet, Deso, S and Y, let's go. Like you can't lone druid. Lycan's already banned. I just don't see the options left for them.
Viking right now are in recovery mode for their draft. They've realized how bad things have got, and potentially they need to look at maybe changing up the lanes. I think that's a key thing. I don't think you can allow.
Into profit?
Not really. I'm just trying.
They gotta pick something though. Here we go.
Random.
The Man King.
Random.
No.
I actually like it. I think they needed a kill hero. I was like thinking about like Slark, but he sounded really bad, so I couldn't think of any other hero that could deal with Underlord in lane. At this point, Underlord, the only way they can slow down the momentum of OG is by kind of gimping his game. So maybe OG will swap it up and put like an aggro tri lane and put the Underlord safe lane, something like that. All for me, if OG gets a decent start on all three of their cores, I think they're just going to steamroll this game.
All right, thank you very much. What was that face? I didn't hear.
No, it was just like the shock and horror of how OG's got such a dominant position in this draft. And that alone is very scary because Viking does need strong lanes. We mentioned that in the game 2 post, and it's just happened. It's very, very scary position for Viking.
Top
10 seconds remaining.
It's a showdown.
It's a matchup. It's a hero thing. Void Spirit, obviously.
5
just a
seconds
significantly
remaining.
You're
better
setting
hero
up for the spicy ending. Ooh.
And now that Hobson's on the Ember, I'm sure he'll get smacked.
Nah.
No, do you though?
We'll see. OG's pace is going to be key. It's about how well does his Monkey King do at lane.
Oh, Viking pace is key.
Viking's pace. Monkey King is on Viking's side.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right.
He just has to be ahead.
I just want to watch mid. I don't care. Can we just get to the game, please?
We will get to the game, and we are gonna watch the mid lane, guys, and hopefully our observers will, have the camera always there. We're gonna find out though. Let's head over to Moxie and Purge for game 3.
Thank you so much, Shiva. We're getting the game 3 Purge, and everyone's really hyped about that mid lane. And it seems like OG has a very tempo draft. Do you think that they're going to be able to steamroll Viking, as Kyle was saying, or what do you think?
It's definitely possible. I agreed with a lot with what BSJ said. Like they have to be a little bit careful about the Monkey. BSJ at least. Monkey King has the potential to pressure Underlord a lot. So if that lane can go okay for them, then yeah, maybe they'll be able to offset things. But I'm absolutely going to watch mid the whole time. I don't care about anything else that happens in this game. I want to see if Thompson can go even or style on his opponent, then big advantage to him. It's a lot about his.
Every single day for Remnants is perfect place. I'm interested to see if Boom can do the same thing, because Thompson also maxed out the Remnants early.
He went, I think, 2-0-3 into 4-0.
The trees.
Slightly, yes. Leveled up.
I've been assured.
Matchup for figuring out basically where Underlord is going to go and whether or not he'll match up.
Not really.
Well, he was smoked briefly, but they put on mid one.
bit of the invasion coming out here from Viking over the Dire area. We've got a nice ward placed over on the side. Not any sort of
30
patience.
seconds to
lanes. And 2 observers right next to each other. They do have a Q ward here if they'd like to drop it. With Envision, so Aramis is going to be able to get a start off here. Gold going over to him.
Slight itemization difference. Tops in the middle ops for 2 iron branches and a stone. So this is understanding of how to win this lane matchup, lower his armor, and therefore get these better physical trades out.
The next level
If that
play.
impacts things.
The battle begins.
Wraith Band Rush.
Oh, runes are getting snapped up. And all right, we got the mid camera on.
Just watch the mids.
Just the rest of the game.
Nothing else
matters. It's Boom versus Thompson.
So Thompson going to go fast bottle. It looks Blightstone probably needs the extra regen. If he does believe that Void Spirit has generally better harass, he'll need the bottle a little bit faster. So leverage his mana. And guard too much magic damage here. Resonant Pulse only does 70 damage, so pretty easy to rely on Flame Guard.
Harass on between 2 brothers. Some little bit
Last
going
hits.
on in the other lane too.
I don't believe it.
Okay. I like how we have side lane cam, you know, just in case anyone's wondering. For those of you joining in, it's all about this mid matchup. Thompson versus Boom. Who's out on top?
Taking a decent amount of damage, but so did Red Sox and Pulse Wave per usual. And Monkey's not going to be able to lifesteal off of this either. So far, Thompson doing great. 4 last hits. 4-1 versus the 3-0 of Boom here. Everything looking about normal. Normal mid for the whole drama that we have for.
Just seeing a lot of that missile spam coming out the top lane. Offset. License here in the bottom lane. They're on his way around. But it's still very evenly matched here in this mid lane.
Yep. So I guess Thompson, it's better. You're right here. He won a game convincingly. I mean, both of these are heroes of experience. For whatever reason, just one. Put in a little bit of trouble. But not.
Taking a lot of harass. I think No-Tail is going to be the first blood, but Aramis is going to be next to fall.
Radiant's courier has been
trading
killed.
top. Louis Courier does get hunted down by Saxa as well.
Seven trouble.
Seb. Nice Inkswell coming out. Another little interrupt though coming out from Saxa will make it so that he's able to walk away.
Regen offset though, so I have to have some. He does have a triple coming, there's stop coming for Saxo, which will help him lane. That's the lane to be careful of. You know, other than the mid lane, definitely the off lane is where the action will happen.
Aside from the extra couple denies that Thompson has, it's very, very even. I don't even know what the items look like because we have our side lane cam. I don't know. All right, so we've got plenty of regen left over here on Thompson. Not as much left here for. Okay. Courier's moving out over to mid lane. Gonna refresh a little bit. Cam comes back up. I thought there was a big fight going on. I was like, oh gosh, I'm missing it. But we're just back to side lane.
One thing that makes a lot of sense about what Thompson did here with the Blightstone is that, I mean, Boom obviously was using Sleight of Fist in the previous match as well, but it gives you 80 bonus hero damage. And by buying a Blightstone, you're increasing that by another 10% damage. So he's just like getting more harassment out of the right clicking that he is doing, and that's helped him to go basically even his regen trade. Part of the reason that Boom had a rough lane. The small variation here, maybe just a safer play, and Thompson's going to go even, basically showing that he's not concerned about this matchup. You know, it's kind of crazy to think that it still happens, but against some of the best players in the world, we'll sometimes get these really one-sided mid matchups.
They're reaching the 4-minute patient here. Some of the supports are making their way over now.
You're
gonna try his luck in the
Radiant
bottom end.
structures are fortified.
He's hanging out over there.
I'm going to delay Thompson. He wanted to use Flame Guard to push out. Now as a result, there's no way he can get that top while still getting less hits, so doesn't matter that much. Not really. He's still up in line. Thompson has the matchup on really better, but pressured again here.
The bottom lane, they have the Inkswell. They start winding up and that'll connect. Nice impale again coming up from Saxa. Boundless, not quite enough damage to get the kill on Sep. He's had a couple close calls with this. So I do see that Boom has teleported out of his lane.
Back to heal, I guess. He wasn't able to get the rune himself, obviously, be top instead of bottom, so had to go back a little bit normal. So at 5.5, so more advantage to him, but it's not insurmountable this game. I have an okay stage. Once he hits 6, we'll see him probably move around the map, probably to the bot lane to really. The bot lane talks
Fortune's change.
coming up for stun. Yep, Celery steals it.
School given.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Down bottom area now. Let's refresh again. Closer to level 6 over on Thompson. Like
That's really
poking at Celery in the bottom lane. May not be able to get.
Really see Thompson get anything on, but pressure him. Crucially, Thompson is waiting. He's been doing a nice thing in the minute. He basically waits to use Flame Guard until Boom uses at least one of his. So you need both Remnant and Resonant Pulse to break through the Flame Guard. So as long as he just waits to use it until Boom goes for a last hit, Resonant Pulse, then it's to abuse Flame Guard in a more effective way.
Bottom lane, it looks like Seb is taking a lot of damage. Boundless comes in, they finally managed to get that kill with that pesky under.
But the fact that it took that long was really was the last pick of the draft. Shad's gonna have not above average laning stage, but his last hits are not like insane cred. Gyro's doing better. 26 and 17 on Gyro. 26 and 2. Still doing great considering he has the weaker carry. The Gyro, I think this is a start.
See Boom making a rotation. Now actually gonna go top, maybe slow down mid one and there. He's got position. Doesn't manage to go, land the shackle. This is taking a lot of damage. If he has to step forward though, call down coming out from mid one. Not quite enough damage. Case is able to step out of it, and Boom closes himself kill.
This ward spot I'm going Star one. I don't know if it's
Radiant's middle
might not be
tower
old
is
enough,
under
but
attack.
either way, mid one gets pressure coming into offset. Rotates over to help, but with no astral ability, to be a little careful here. And the DD on top, so look how much damage they're getting into the tower. So he's gonna try to slow down the stroke of fate. It's gonna help a little bit, but a long time.
Up the Remnant, draw Thompson back underneath the tower. It's also here though, they're gonna try to punch them. Where the Impale will be able to land over here onto Boom as they'll keep him. As they throw the Inkswell out, they can turn this around. They do manage to get the kill up to No Tail, but Boom will go down as Thompson's able to right forward. Final hit off.
Top tower is under attack.
His fault. They wanted to just hit the tower stupidly earlier, and they've still got the DD. This is like one of the most out DDs I've seen in a long time. And yeah, tower goes down at 7 minutes. All they lose out of this is slight gyro cop. So yeah, they lost the Grenade Prophet 5 position. Who cares? Absolutely great rotation here from OG to solidify this map control. Now the game's going to get a little bit harder for him. He's not going to be able to just like play in the mid lane, hit creeps, accelerate. He's going to have to move around and get kills.
Shad needs to be so careful. Hit of Malice. Comes out. He throws down the Boundless, but they have the Impale. Just like that. Down goes Shad. They're just playing with so much tempo right now, Purd.
They are, yeah. And now Gyro basically making use of his levels. He has a lot of damage output as a carry at this phase of the game, and if you gank correctly, then it's absolutely going to pay off. So implications there. Thompson thinking about heading over, but for now he's just going to farm. We'll see if they try to respond to this. It looks like they're just trying to do the opposite thing on the other side of the map. Dive the no-tail.
Yep, they definitely spot him over here. That's
bottom
to come out.
is under
He's
attack.
teleports though, coming out very, very quickly. No-tail taking a lot of damage. He goes down. Thompson now trying to cut a boom. He pile over on him. Monkey King, Chad standing up on the tree line. He's gonna hop down. One doesn't quite manage to land the bandless though. Husband tries to run away. KZ using the roar. They'll find the kill, but they also manage to get to it. Now Shad, he tries to dodge. He cannot do it. Thompson gets himself in the premise now. Trying to run away. Celery, he's got the Inkswell. He's trying everything, but he cannot save the shaman. As now he's the side of OG. They're here, and Detroit, they get Thompson gets a triple kill with the last fight.
Is under attack.
Man, what a good play there by OG. Till team basically gonna run for it, haha, and they use their spells that instantly gets canceled because they at the same moment that he gets shown teleporting all the cores in. And even though they lost the gyrocopter, Thompson getting all of this net worth is certainly going to put them in a good spot. He went for a quick Orb of Corrosion, queuing up Maelstrom afterwards. His damage output and amount of disable is just really strong. He's also just left his Vanguard at 2 points. He's all about disable and nuke right now with his, and Syrian is so leveled up now. We're in a similar situation as last game. The only difference being that his opponent isn't as behind as they were.
Very quickly turning into the top Dodo game like we saw in game number 2. You gotta be a little nervous about it.
Dire's top tower.
Soul can't TP in the top lane. No, Shell tried to buy himself a little time, but they do have the damage. Kaz will go find the kill.
The nature of them.
One of the other crucial difference though is that Gyro's not going to be as stabilized as a PA was in the last game. OG will try to defend top tower.
Careful here. Vision on him. The double damage pop, but they'll turn around. They'll clean up some of these boars and we'll never creep. Nice hole.
Charter for Gyro or for B.
They almost timed out.
So I'll check right into that. I mean, you don't ever know how long they're necessarily going to be up for. And here's the issue with Gyro. Pressure's out the lane a little bit. It's picked up a Falcon Blade, normal Gyro item here, but they rotate and bet against it. It's got to just farm a little bit. Now they're rotating bottom. Now they're defended top. They feel like they can pressure
over here on the Monkey King. Shad trying to hide from the trees. The teleports are coming up. But they do manage to go in a hole. But over in the corner, they have the outfit. Now it goes. Moves down. Shad's not looking too great. Gets a nice kill off, and still he's able to find the kill on Toxin with a little bit of help from Celery.
Rotation from there. Yeah, that locking down Thompson, making sure that he could not escape from the danger with the wards and everything, and then keep Shad alive. Need a little bit more damage. They needed a homing missile to hit, I don't know, maybe somebody else instead, but it all went on Shad. Shad ends up paying for himself, and Thompson's first big error, and a lot of gold going to Boom, the Void Spirit. By the way, he's 4-1-1. The laning stage didn't go amazing, but he's been there for the crucial rotation. Even though he's died once, he's doing a great job to offset this.
I mean, that's what you have to do as a good mid player, right? If your lane go quickly, you've got to go and make your own opportunities.
Got a game. One level 9 here, queuing up an SM all way. Bucks are rotating down, ready to fight as well. See if they grab shit.
Like Thompson and Sparks are just combing through the jungle and maybe thinking of making a play over into the middle, but there's no one there. Shad, though,
Radiant's
missile to the head,
tower
eventually. Top lane, we're trying to make the moves over on Seb. Very tanky, but he's not tanky enough because he does that to Kazu.
Dire's top tower.
Now for the monkey, they're trying to break. It's just happening. And over the best found Buck Thompson, and he is just gonna get shot down here.
Fear not your death.
Get that there to do a lot of remnants, a lot of extra mana, and able to go all the way and grab a nice advantage. 3k advantage now for Fuji, despite losing Seb on the opposite side of the map. And now the lane bait. I think Gyro did on how many different issues up during this game, but he goes Mask of Madness in the end.
Do we like
something that he can use. Yeah, it's one of Gyro's issues is he doesn't jungle very well compared to most carries. You can solve this by buying Malcolm maybe or Ags. Those I a little bit slow to get.
Radiant's bottom
Mask of
tower
Madness kind of
is under
solves the problem.
attack.
A lot of attack speed allows him to jungle without having to spend tons of it should allow him to transfer other items. I'm not really sure where he'll go after this. Common to go Ags, but some people find this just right. Or like BKB fighting items, and then they just get Gyro in the fights constantly to help leverage net worth that way.
Well, I think if they're playing tempo, doesn't a BKB?
Yeah, for that reason, basically. He can show up to the fights, tell you, worry about just being chain bursted by magic.
Actually, they even use the Serpent Wards to help out. Nice finish.
Now, game is pretty even across the map, but we're advantage for Brazil. Here, but just flips the farm. Suck about getting close to his blink dagger, about 1,000 away. Once he gets that, it'll be really easy for him to follow up on allies. And it'll probably be like slight change from Ember into blink stun from Nyx, or they'll do hit a mouse on Underlord. They're smoking in, they might find Thompson.
Boom jumping forward immediately. Then he sidesteps it, nicely done here by Tops. The rest of the team, though, quickly collapsing again. Mid one leading the charge. They're already walking out. Nathan Remnant draw back in. See Seb high. So standing on the high ground, hoping he can get some sort of information. They do have the Necros online.
Very dangerous for Bud. He managed to get out of this.
And anticipating that they're going to try to go for the room, so they go forward. Damage over on the step, but Aramis is right side. They get the double and can they finish up though? Do they have the damage? They take down Aramis, then they use the floor. They're taking some shift over on the back lines. It's not looking super great for Aramis. Falls. Boom, he's got a missile coming for his head. Seb trying to cut them off. See, that's a nice dodge though. Well, trying to push them away. Nice silence, making sure that they can't spike Aramis, but they do, of course, have a bit of malice. So the artillery, and Boom is just left behind in the trees.
Very ready to fight. Done. Despite the double tackle, they still end up getting a little damage fall up. I don't know, Monkey King's there probably is what happened if Monkey King's there, drops his ulti, damages them while they're getting shackled. Surely
Radiant
they can fight,
are
but
scanning.
replay once again. Dig a little map, you have Monkey King all the way in the top lane, so I don't know if showed on the creep pipes there or what, but they ran in, they forced the fight here. Nice spike carapace actually limit Boom's damage, and then the hit a mouse, it just limited what Boom could do damage wise. So they just got to pick off their targets here and there. They're used on the Viking side. Monkey can start rotating over, but it just wasn't worth it at that fight. All of the expelled to go back.
Load up there. All right. So 5K fourth lead going over to the side of OG. It's gonna be just a little annoying here. It's gonna poke away at Shaq. You can see though that Ember is hot on his heels and still eliminating the Prophet. It looks like they can make a play here. Shackles will land. Remnant zipping forward. They need to be careful. Just a little bit outside this Wukong's man. This is muscle being for Thompson. He needs to get up there and he needs to get out of there fast. He's not gonna be able to as the final hit is off. No remnants were left. Maybe just a little bit too greedy.
That cops in play right there. Just some crazy against the wall doing insane stuff with all of his rem. When he played it, I was like, all right, he's gonna rem it. I click on him, so far away from it. Another kill here, maybe.
Here's they'll go and grab themselves a Thoxa and also grab themselves a neutral item. Efficiency.
All right, and now that they've thrown their lives away to some little greedy stuff against the Monkey King, basically Boom tried to do the right thing there. The tree so that Ember's gotta defend.
The roar comes out. Goes drop to him out, but it doesn't matter because the Starfox is just dead. He's not going to be here to go and defend. Flight comes out though here from Tops, and they're going to try to clean up these necro books at the very least. Get a little on the tower as the Serpent Wards do chomp down on it a bit.
Honestly, not bad. I think that was pretty worthwhile considering they lost territory. They defend the tower, keep map control up, a lot of big cooldowns for Soxa already.
Trying to hold on to this Nature's Prophet for enough time. Flipping away. Boom following up here with the output step. X comes out again. And they find themselves a quick pick-off on No Tail, but they might be able to do a little something here against Shad. Nope. It's a little bit too risky. There's more people in the vicinity.
Still struggling to finish the dagger, about 200 gold away, but he's got others tough in this circumstance where, like, if he just sets in his little, yeah, he's going to finish Blink, but then your team holds pressure off for that period of time, and it feels a little bit dangerous to slow down. Full whip, very solid, queuing up a Crimson Guard, but it's all the physical damage of the enemy squad. Very strong pickup here.
So it's the BKB that we're seeing from the Gyrocopter. Is that next?
Yes. 400 gold away now. Grobo really good on drive. Lots of magic damage from the hero, so perfect item for now. Slowing things down a little bit on the OG side. Battery. Everything farming's looking all right. They have
Radiant's
decent
top tower
scaling.
is under
I
attack.
have less faith in Gyro as an ultra late game carry than over here, but with this kind of optimization, it should help limit the amount of time he dies.
Yeah, because we haven't a lot of here.
Eggs up on Monkey King as well, so his farm rate's going to go even more than it was before. But yeah, Gyro's actually he'd be happy actually. He knows that for sure. 3, 4, and having this much net worth over your opponents, that's just because OG's been playing really aggressive on the map. Maybe it's like one of the reasons, like playing a Thompson's death bottom is technically bad, but it did create space, and like doing stuff like that, even if he has some misses sometimes, is part of the reason that Shad's net worth is just not the same.
The Great Hawk just spotted out there was
The seeds of fortune.
from the side of OG, although they are split up, so.
Well, you just transfer block camp respawns. Another reason farming is fast. I've seen this in a long time, but it's not super commonly. But spending time
Radiant's
on that rather
top
than farming,
tower is under
block the
attack.
camps, less time, less net worth for your opponents.
Radiant's top tower has
There
fallen.
goes the tower. Sox is doing a little bit of hunting here. Realizing there's no detection over on the side. They'll have it though over here in the capital area. Careful.
Dire's middle
Great.
tower is under attack.
Sorry for OG when they in but
They're waiting for him. Look at this trap. They're hoping that Ember's gonna come right back over here to this remnant.
never do something.
Enjoying his time here in the bottom lane. Isn't it back? Spending a lot of time just camping it too. Got double there.
Almost got BKB in the zone. He goes for it,
Goes for it, but were they? No, they weren't there anymore.
and he still hits the small camp. He's like, eh,
No.
if they were here, I'd be dead.
5K net worth lead at around 20 minutes. This Gyro has been farming very, very well.
Giving up Ags next. He's got the survivability from BKB, so now he quite feel comfortable. Fine Ags, more raw HP, better team fight, just more raw damage. But he's getting smoked down. There's a blink on Beastmaster actually. If they spot him at all,
Oh, they spotted themselves a gyrocopter. They'll use the roar, they'll use the hex, and we'll collect the kill.
beautiful inks on initiator wall first. So good. Makes like any hero for example.
Wukong's command here in the bottom lane. Back on Sox. So do you have to be careful of coming in? They know where this monkey can get. Look at the 4-man getting just to take that shot.
Really good pressure by Sox. He's not afraid to do these little pressure moments. And yeah, they're going to get roached out of this, but not terrible all things considered. Trading the carries for the carry. That's going to damage.
He runs in, but it's still going to Radiant, and they still will be a hit. Oh, nice tail, Soxa. He finds the kill on Kazoo, and is not going to be able to go and get the kill on Aaron.
Dire's turret has been killed.
Oh, he wants it so bad. Oh, the Necro dies. Bad.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Your opponent's back, they get to try camp now. Buys Ember Spirit in Aegis, while really effective, it's not necessarily on the guy you want it to be on. You probably want that on Monkey King there. That way it becomes harder for you to commit to killing him. But now, kill Monkey King, and yeah, Boom is still there, doing AoE damage, getting some harassment in and stuff. Well, Monkey King is like far the bigger damage output for a slightly longer fight.
Now, are you at all concerned? Like, we're looking at the net worth now. People seem to both in terms of, who's on. Are we concerned about that for OG just because they are supposed to be playing such a difficult lineup?
I mean, they could have been playing a crazy tempo lineup when they go really ahead
Radiant's
and
bottom
close the game
tower
up.
is
But
under
I think
attack.
they're still fine with their position. Like they have or anything like that. Like yeah, they're maybe not the most meta, but all their heroes scale completely fine. Gyro's ahead of top net worths, and he's the hero that's maybe the most vulnerable. They've got gank potential. They kind of have all the pieces they might need, basically.
There's it. Nice goal find. going to be able to hold them both in place. Plus the Hex. They need a little bit more damage, though. Do they have it? Could they take him down? There's going to be the Shackle Wall. Need a little bit more. They have the BKB over here on mid one. They need to put out more physical damage. And I'm not sure they quite have it, although Shad coming in now. It's looking pretty darn good. Roof taking so much damage. He is going to fall, but he has the Aegis. It's absolutely fine. Shad, though, needing to be a little bit careful. They'll be able to throw here as they're going to try to man fight. Seb tries to get away, but they have the Palace. Kezi making his way over. And there's the leap over, the grab back in. This is looking like a dead set. It's going to take a lot of damage, though, to take him down, but eventually Shad will collect Kezi.
Good initiation once again. Locking down mid one. His BKB ends up coming really, really late there. And one thing that also hurt him, I think he ended up killing one of the Necro minions before he those just dropped low really, really. So this is low, he can pop this a little bit of losing the bounty and your life.
Oh, no, he's gonna
not bad. Okay. Yeah, just a little limited on mid one so far. It's difficult for him to engage because nobody else in his team really going in other than maybe Nyx or Emperor, but in these circumstances, it's actually kind of surprising it is now where this is still the most farmed series 3, 5, and 4. You just been farming that it justifies it, I guess.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Big old now from
It's a little bit tower. Getting a little bit low. In there.
he went back for the Ag.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's got a
Radiant structures are
mid instantly down the middle.
I don't think that Viking's going to be able to get down here quite fast enough. He just let the sort of movement they have coming out from the side of
Radiant's bottom tower.
They're just already camped out here. Pretty scary to see that.
Radiant's
So, yeah,
bottom tower
tower
has
will fall.
fallen. Dire's structures are fortified.
Okay, they're going.
Dire's middle tower is under
Get it.
attack.
Pushing here in this lane. Very aggressive here. Call down comes out. They're hoping to just clear up some of these streets.
Radiant's
That Necro book.
is under attack.
Khezu getting into position here. Does manage to get that roar off. Saxa was looking for counter initiation. He managed to set it up too. This is not looking good for him, but they managed to get allowed to survive this. That goes down, and Shad is just wailing away over here, trying to defend his towers. Oh, jump forward again, coming out of the sky. Be careful though. The 8th the 3 goes in, so he will fight back here. The axes are being thrown. The Hex comes out. They trapped him in the wards here for top. They have enough damage though. Can they keep him locked down long enough? Do they have this is looking damn good. Somehow though, Top's alive and he's gonna escape with 100-something hit points. Maybe no Kez is on field. That's a dump.
But a big fight for very crucial that they were able to keep their cores alive for as long as they did. Void Spear gets a little bit in danger. Monkey King gets a big Black King Bar initiation, and ultimately OG just got a little bit too aggressive on the high ground. And they couldn't deal with the BKB cores. They could not. But the Monkey King, Pyro is not going to deal well with the Monkey King, at least until he picks up another item or two, if that. But like fighting, he's a magic and he's got like 24 armor from his ulti. Like you just can't touch him as a gyro player. So I need some cracks in there, and their armor here stocks a Mr. Crucial Blink stun as well. So just a couple mistakes from OG to once again try to force the template punching for them.
I love that point from Aramis over there. He sees the double damage. He sees that tree, and he was going over there to try to deny it, and he just throws out that way. Boom can grab up the double. I like that.
It's a big room for.
Because he knows you can't chip it down fast enough. Don't worry.
Slow down even further.
It for
It's
you.
very important. Wow, he had it. Incredible.
We had a very large worth lead over at the side of OG, and we've shifted considerably. It's about even here.
Really looking scary here for them. Mid one's queued up a rapier. Maybe get there eventually. It's a perfect helicopter item. Is it going to be enough? Maybe it'll help.
Oh,
But here
there's a
comes the
lot
fight.
of people here. Considering it, they What is BKB with slow roar coming up from Kansas. That is the first to go down. This Skywalker cannot.
They want in that fight. Defensively, they just get to do everything they want. Gyrocopter didn't get beat, but realistically, I don't think it mattered. They got everything they wanted on top of their opponent and heavily punished. And now things are starting to look really bad for OG.
Even when they use the wards here, Sox is going to be pretty happy about that.
It's fine, but realistically, not much is happening right now. Is Rose up anytime soon? Could respawn here.
He took that a lot of damage over here on Casey. Point out, looks like, yeah, Shav is now trying to man-fight. You can see that the Underlord is making his way over. Glimmer Cape, though, coming out. See that into action. They'll drop a ward. Shav with the BKB is going to be able to teleport away. That looks like Celery most likely going to die here, as he does throw out the soul bind. He's hoping he can buy a little bit more time, maybe make some space, but down he goes. But over in the mid lane here, Aramis, and boom, he's fine for a bit one. Aramis with the X again, boom. Doesn't want to stay here any longer because everyone's out of the way, but they teleport out.
Pressuring the map so much. It feels like Ember Spirit's just not a useful hero here, honestly. That's what I'm feeling about this. He had a great laning stage. He pressured well and got some kills. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but also like his impact compared to Void Spirit or Monkey King just doesn't feel the same. Maybe it's different if they have a different carry or something like that, but it just, like, he's slight chaining people, and that's fine, but it's not doing enough. They need like save or something to save Gyrocopter, but like their opponents are just outmaneuvering them. They have a lot more built-in ability. That's got to be some of it. Their disables and they're feel easier.
One of the things that I always see with like a Gyrocopter is something to buff them, right? Or as Brock would say, you know, steroid. Whether it's an IO paired up with a Gyrocopter or, you know, Bloodlust, anything. Is that one of the reasons why that feels like it's falling a little flat right now?
I would agree. Mid one's net worth. Getting stunned, and chain stunned to low, then he pops BKB, but it's too late for a hero like Gyro. So that's what's made the game hard. Maybe its itemization, but in reality, it's probably mostly just that his opponents have been engaging on him and not vice versa. But it's hard for OG to initiate. Like, it has to be Nyx, maybe, or they want to Underlord in the front. He gets his opponent's wand once Underlord gets initiated on, but it's like they're not turning well enough. Underlord isn't quite tanky enough here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that
gets silence.
The problem is that it has been very poor. We see them, you know, start out with that but BKBs are up and running, and he's a tanky boy, but it just doesn't feel like he is.
Yeah, they're putting enough damage into him. Can't infinitely tank. He's got the 20 health regen now, so that'll buy him a little bit more in the fight, but maybe he should have bought Hood a little to made a Hood into Crimson would have been overall better for us. Kind of hard to say. I just feel like OG hasn't had a normal team fight, with the exception of like maybe one or two. Almost every engagement has been taking good engagements, getting pickoffs, and starting fights on the right.
They're playing very tight right now. Like around here in the castle area, wards off. I feel like this very large fight that they're playing right now. We have the shard over online for Shadow Shaman. That is like one of my favorites.
Cool.
So good at pushing out. He was so good at performing ganks.
Stuff like that. Very good. He has 5 on the high ground here. They kind of feel like OG's going to be in slight desperation mode. So that's usually people start doing stuff together. In reality, they're just hitting creeps, so it's fine. I think mid one's still queuing up Rapier. I think that's definitely where the game is starting to go a little bit. He's got Rocket Barrage talent. Maybe he'll go Shard. Talk about a team. Like, it does an insane amount of damage, but again, against BKBs, not good. Rapier, they could certainly win this game, I think. they've got that.
It's scary a lot of the times because I feel like a lot of times when we see mid one queue up with Rapier, it's always where he feels a bit pushy or he's having difficulty staying alive in a lot of these.
OG does like drafting lineups that aim for this like really coordinated timing. So you might like you say yes, it's always in these situations, but they're drafting lineups that are aiming for this window, and they don't really care. It's like they're aiming for the window. If they don't miss it, they just keep trying again because they're OG, and eventually they're gonna like really understand the meta and the patch and what they can do and what they can. That's respect about them a lot. Even if it looks kind of weak here, obviously DPC is a huge deal, but it's like an OG special. They pick stuff that they think makes sense, and they're gonna do it anyways, even if it ends up being a little weird.
I mean, we've talked about it time and time again too. The fact that Secret often does things that seem a little bit strange, or just not really the meta, but it's people that create the meta usually the best at what they do.
Death and gold are linked.
People are a little worried just because, no, it is the DPC, it is every game. It really, really matters here. Tough to see one of your going in from a little strange to you. In fact, Topson, he put the BKB. It's kind of a weird initiation here. Might be able to go and take but they have the visions, though. They don't have to worry about that ink flow coming in. Step forward, though, coming out from Boom. There's going to be a buyback here from Kirk. The Hex comes out. Boom jumping onto the back lines here. Monkey King Shad getting into position. They want to try to put Thompson. Be able to. But the BKB turns down on Boom and a buyback now from Celery.
Changing because now what he needs to do is force his opponents into weird situations, forcing them to pop BKBs. He just dove the whole team by himself, and with help of Soxa on the backline, killed the Grimstone. Scarier heroes that's preventing Seb from being able to play his games. So he doesn't have BKB right now, but the speed and skill that Hobson is wielding is certainly something that can force mistakes like this.
They know that
Viking on
just saw the double damage and more. I think very much on the defensive. But realizing that, OG Delta split, go back to farming.
They'll clear the mid wave, they'll continue to sit together, using the Necro to spot out Invis heroes to deward any wards. A little bit of time. Want to kill the Necro.
This was very surprising to me when he zipped in after, and then he's just in the middle of all of these here.
But with BKB, it's kind of the same situation that OG's been struggling with. Their opponents use BKB, they can't play. Hey, house BKB, he's super mobile unless he gets broke. They can't lock him down. Leveler picked up, and mid only about. Okay. Back. Leveler really good too, bonus damage. If they do want to fight, he's going to try to build it. As well. Now over to Ember Spirit, even lower Remnant Recharge. I was gonna say, Flicker on OG would have been out of the silences from
I got lucky enough to find that on.
I find you.
Charge doing a lot of work here over here. And this is lanes. They're down off the map, which immediately, of course, does get countered by no tick. We really want to seem to get in there, but
Rune of
haven't
haste.
found that advantageous.
Rune of double damage.
everyone having a big his neutral items. He's got 3 really good ones. Penance for Ninja Gear. I want them all. Also good. He's gonna sit on Ninja Gear though.
Just keep one in your pack now, you know. Time to hit buildings later on, hopefully.
If they want to fight, he'll swap them level 30. Quite get the range. But bad, doesn't. Almost got the rapier. 70 gold to go across the map.
I feel like that's even more important for the side of OG.
Do we have with the rapier? Absolutely.
There we go. Had a couple skirmishes around the pit. And we do have quite the pressure coming out from No Tail, especially when you have those really big treants. They do so much help as well.
beast trees. Remember?
They're not obese, Purge. We've talked about them. They're just voluptuous. But look at that. They just immediately clean them up. That's 18 to 24 gold that you get for those.
Right there.
Done?
There. They really... They have a better vision of a lot of trees in the side. Viking, but gotta be so careful.
Yeah. Now we're on the Viking.
Killed all the trees by Roach Pit too, so no Monkey King able to stand on them. That's a terrible, I think. Scary. Gets in very huge.
All right. Smoke is up. We can catch the by surprise here as Boom very forward. Their initiation again. We talked about this.
They can catch somebody with a balloon, impale with Gyro doing damage for 2.5 seconds. It's a kill.
The Necro bucks out. A little scouting. Is the Arcane when it's up and running over there. Pops and bottles it up. They're aware.
So.
Got a nice board here down over on the low ground. Pop. Just a brief flirtation back and forth from both teams. They're very reluctant to hard commit.
The seeds of fortune.
So scary. There's no buyback on Gyro. I mean, if he dies, Rapier's gone. The over Rapier in the hand by their Void Spirit or Monkey King would be really terrifying.
Are scanning.
So yeah, they got to be so careful what they do here. They're now scanning because they're a little outmaneuvered for a moment. Gyro does have a TP available, so he could be strong if the fight does start happening. Ups got buyback. Well, buyback.
He's just gonna spend a little time chilling in the trees here. Let's have the Arcane Rune bottle that he got earlier. And just keep the battle of the units. We're gonna go in. Cars, birds, Necro pits. We're in the pit now. Please get over there soon. How do they approach this? I'm gonna go out. Alright, gain a little bit of vision. Forward here, coming off the top. Immediately the dodge.
Oh, they're going in.
It's the Yule, so over here off the chasm, but he does have the BKB, and over on the map, Boom going and dropping down. All of the damage that he possibly can. Get everybody into the car, but then what? He goes down.
The next level.
Spear pick up. Void Spear.
Follow to the Radiant.
Rough one. They kind of committed, pops and jumps in, trying to slow things down, but they used the trees near the large camp to jump in the way. And once he's in and pops BKB, he also stunned Gyro pretty early there. BKB didn't come out on mid one just fast enough, and as a result, he just stayed way too long. It took too long for him to get out of that fight. Now they got to get the Rapier back.
Yes, they do. That is what they're looking for here. But there's a lot of damage. Possibly go to get the on up. Thompson running forward. He's looking to see if maybe they can get it down, but not quite enough damage. As finally they do manage to get that Aegis cannon. Trying to run over. He's getting paid down by Thompson. It's gonna go down. Boom, stepping forward, has his eyes over on the side. They're be able to go. They take him down. They get the Rapier back online now. Spirit. Shaft forced to run away. You will set up very nicely for the impaled option coming in on here. He's got no tail as well. No BKB looks for back around again. They get the hex. They're all in this place. They have the battle. Down goes Thompson. They can go in the right again as soon as they can get over there. And it is going to be Monkey King snatching it back up. No tail the run. He's trying to get away. Soxy takes so much damage from one monkey on the back line. 5 coming out and this Rapier is just a game of hot potato.
We've seen never swings the last 5 seconds. All right, well, it's true. Thompson trying to buy Lincoln Spear. He needed it in that spot for sure. Yeah, the Rapier, but the Shaman Blink Forward utilizes BKB and guaranteed the down to secure the Rapier. Went back into the other hand, but I mean, how things are looking. This game is still potentially winnable for OG. They just got to get the Rapier back. At least the Aegis is gone, so any pick you get in a great spot. But this is what's scary about it, is that Monkey King now has the Rapier itself, arguably the perfect Void Spirit, but Satanic. So if this guy just live, Mizrahi.
Huge upset. Vikings not in the top 4 right now. I think it'll surprise a lot of if they're able to take this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It would definitely be a big, really mess up. I mean, it's like who's supposed to go down in Division in Tier 1, Division 1 in here? Somebody's gonna get disappointed, basically. This could really shake things up.
Has to be a loser, unfortunately.
So stomp Division 2.
Right. It's all part of the growing process here, Urge. You know, the only way you get better is if you start playing better opponents. Otherwise, you're just in a small pond.
Like a big swing in the last couple fights.
The desperation play, right? Where you see them pick one up, and everyone would just get so excited, you'd be breathless. You're like, oh my god, anything could happen. And even though this game, you know, it did get picked up to be that tempo timing, I still really think that this is super fun to watch them around, especially when you trade so many hands like.
Radiant are scanning.
So, they pop the Lincolns with the running right back in, but there it is, there's the board with the Wukong's man. They just absolutely blow up Sox, and Toxic is down. No buyback on either one of these guys, as now Viking will just slice through the tower like a hot knife and butter and make their way towards those
middle tower is under attack.
He's managed to farm the butter. In the meantime, we got 2 heroes dead.
Oh god, that word immediately. Very tough. Look at the immediately no buyback on this jungle. You have all of these trees making their way into the Radiant base, but look at how fast Viking just slices through these
Radiant structures.
Fortifications coming out on both sides.
Radiant's bottom tower
It's gonna
is
be
under
very
attack.
rough here for
Dire's top tower
no buyback
has
on
fallen.
the cores, no
Radiant's
buyback
middle
on the just want to just take this victory. The Hex comes out as they immediately cover onto No-Tail. They get the kill there and take down 70 bucks. No-Tail's still alive over on his side. The building going down for Seb. He's trying to throw his body at them, trying to get any sort of coming over the back line. This is looking like a dead No-Tail. He gets a fight, have done it. They have taken the series from OG, and they're all
Radiant.
They should be. I mean, that's a big offset. They were one of the lower ranked the groups right now with their standings. They offset 2-time TI champs. They steal their rapiers. They shut down their cores. And OG doing some weird stuff a little